And he goes jumping in. Amazing round. Great hat-trick from Taz.
He flashes in and counts the ultimate. Then a 20 health left. Oh no, she will flash. The shield clutch.
Oh, a blink into all those years of the amazing defense. Champion of the Intel Extreme Masters.
Hello and good morning, everyone. We've got an exciting day for you. It's the semifinals at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship here in Hanover, Germany. I'm your host, Lynn Hong, and right next to me is Demon. Hello. How are you feeling this morning?
I'm good. This is the fourth day, and it's some awesome semifinals day.
I know, I'm definitely excited. And at this moment, we would like to introduce the suit of the Intel Extreme Masters. He told me to introduce him that way. Let's give it up for Carmack for the reveal of the Intel Extreme Masters. That comes along with this, right?
Yes, this is trophy number 6, and every trophy that you win oh, damn it, too much work. I'm terrible. Every single time, if you win an Intel Extreme Masters Championship, your name is engraved on it. So, from 2007 all the way to 2011, we've got the names of the past champions. And I held the trophy. The teams that are going to come out to the stage, they started kind of really getting quiet, looking at it, looking at the names, looking at the history. We've got many glorious champions. It's basically a memory of fantastic moments from the Intel Extreme Masters and esports history. And let's hope that the names that will be engraved on the trophy after this event will also bring the fans around the world fantastic memories and will also be a great part of the history of the Intel Extreme Masters.
Right, definitely an honor to say the least, and any of the teams that will be playing today or tomorrow can have a chance to have their name on this trophy. Well, thank you very much, Carmack. And again, we're very excited for the upcoming matches, so let's go ahead and talk about today's matches.
Yeah, I mean, today's matches, we have some fantastic games ahead of you. If you've missed it, if you missed the action for the last 3 days, I don't know where you've been, because there's been some phenomenal games. Firstly, obviously, in the semi-finals, it is going to be Dignitas versus Against All Authorities. Well, Dignitas came through top in the group stage, so they managed to get a nice bye directly straight through there. But the semi-finals, well, you know, Against All Authorities yesterday, they had a really, really tough game. Here you can see the brackets. They obviously came through against SK Gaming. It was a best-of-3 thriller. Obviously, Candy Panda managed to get a steal on Baron in the second game. Almost managed to get themselves back into it, but the third game, it was just too much for them. Against All Authorities came through very strong. That'll be the first game of the day. Second, of course, is going to be Moscow 5 versus Counter Logic Gaming. Moscow 5, wow. They went 5-0 in the group, absolutely blitzing it, continuing on their awesome form that they had in Kiev. But CLG, they had a loss to Dignitas, obviously, who are in the semi-finals as well. But they struggled in that first game. It was a little bit of a hit on the confidence. I spoke to Double Lift, and it was like, obviously, we were down after that one, but they came through so strong throughout it and managed to take it 4-1-0. So, obviously, getting into those semi-finals. Yesterday against Team Curse, they were so strong. I mean, they didn't look like breaking a sweat, honestly. They completely dominated Team Curse. I kind of felt a little sorry for Curse because it was Sidco's first day. We had this situation in DreamHack where PK was a little bit late. They turned up and ended up winning the tournament. I thought, oh, we could have it again here, but Curse, it was just too much for them. CLG, too strong. So that's going to be the second game of the day. And of course, we're going to have the third and fourth place playoffs. So 3 best-of-3 games today, 9 jam-packed games of League of Legends.
Right, definitely looking forward to it. And I know you guys are too. And also in the meantime, check out ESL TV's brand new website, beta.esl.tv. And right now, let's toss it to our casters, and we'll be proceeding to the semifinals first match.
And good morning here from Hanover. I am Xenon the Stoic.
And I am Rivington the Third, and together we make
Sennington,
the casting Yeti.
Yes, and we have a picture of Sennington as well that we would like to show you.
Yes, indeed.
That's
and
us.
that's That's pretty much what it looks like. Coming down the lane, you do not want to make this thing angry. And it's also going to be very informative, as today we're going to be going against Dignitas. Against All Authority is going to be our first matchup. But first, you're going to be able to vote for who you think is the most and best player of this tournament. I think we have something.
Riving, I think
that player will get.
It's tradition to have a sort of a little hoodie, right?
Indeed.
Maybe we should show you what this looks like.
And right now, if you know about it, we really think that Skara's looking for this one because his team here today big, and you can carry big here in IEM Hanover. It's your World Championship. After all these games, you're going to be able to vote. IEM, go to IntelExtremeMasters.com. There's going to be a tab for voting, the poll to go ahead and vote for your favorite player throughout the tournament. That will open up only after all the games are finished today.
After the semis today on IntelExtremeMasters.com, there is going to be an MVP tab, and we are now looking at AAA from left to right. This is N-rated. Let's see as the camera pans across. We're going to call the names. That's MoMA right there. That's SOAS. We have Yellow Star, and finally we have Linak there, waiting to get ready to go out there.
Staring at their opponents, Dignitas on the other side.
A lot of people are saying that Dignitas are going to take this one really easy, and that AAA don't have the nerves for an offline event, but they have been on an unprecedented run these last couple of weeks. AAA have taken anyone. Here we're looking at Dominic.
I will dominate,
Yeah, I will dominate. There is Cutie Pie.
A cutie indeed.
Have Locust, Skara, and Voyman with the beard.
Yeah, growing that back. Voyboy now turning back into Voyman. The moon is full tonight, so he's going to be bringing out some pain. Look at them pointing at it. Like, my name's going to be on that. That's what he's saying right there. Dignitas playing very well throughout the tournament, having a few games where they even knew they threw it themselves, and they don't want that to happen here. The late game has kind of been ticking against them in most of their matches, but coming out strong. Voyboy and Skara, two very heavy solo lane players, and if they can continue to win their lanes, and Cutie Pie going for that regular build of his 3 Dorans into the cleaver, if they can get Corky, both of these teams looking for Corky, so that's you're going to see that pick being a big play here.
SOAS got completely stomped by Voyboy last time they played. There was a 10-0-8 earlier that Voyboy played there in top lane, something like that. It was sick, and I cannot wait to see how AAA are going to deal with this today. Are they going to have more jungling pressure on top lane? Is SOAS just going to play something that's even safer, just stay away, throw ninja stars and be safe? SOAS very well
that's one of the things as well, as Voyboy is either very, very hot and he will just make your team wonder what's going on, or he can be shut down. And when he is, that's where you focus at. That top lane, usually the easier lane to gank. Bottom playing very safe this tournament, and you haven't seen more than really the NA junglers going bottom to get those ganks, being very aggressive. It's been all about the top, middle control, and that blue control so far.
And of course, with the supports in bot lane, you always have wards in bot lane, unless, and we're starting to see this tournament, unless you either start counter-pinking, so you put vision wards down to pick up the enemy side wards, or you're Saint Vicious, you're crazy, and you buy a 4-minute Oracle.
Going out, grabbing the 4-minute oracles, that's what Saint's been doing, and it's really been, that's the reason we're saying it, dominating the bottom lane for those NA junglers. The top, usually the easier lane to gank, a lot more pressure on that left side, it's a lot more distance to the turret, so we'll have to see how they play that one out. Let's see if the players are ready here, and we're going to see if we get this first match live.
Ready for us backstage, as we just saw a moment ago, so they cannot type back to you quite yet.
They can't.
So we are going to cut over to the stage right now, where we can see the players making their entrance.
Guys, let's go ahead and start these semifinals. Let's give a big warm welcome to the stage, AAA and Team Dignitas.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm joined by the players. It is going to be N-Rated and Voyboy on the stage with me. First of all, we'll start off with you, Voyboy, because you had a challenging semi-final, or quarter-final, sorry, yesterday against SK Gaming. It was a tough match and went all the way.
Well, the first match was, on our side. We pretty much dominated them hard. Second game as well, until we made a couple of mistakes and let them come back. Third game was a stomp, I can say, because they literally had no kills. So overall, we had the control over all games, and we just lost the second game because we lost some control of it.
And would you say you controlled the lanes? I mean, obviously you played a fantastic Leona yesterday. Yellow Star was on like a man on a mission on the last game. In fact, most of the games, he looked so aggrieved after losing that second game. It's like the camera panned on him. He's like, it's the most aggressive I've ever seen Yellow Star.
Yeah, well, if you make mistakes and you know that you lose because of 2 or 3 mistakes you did, everyone will be pretty much mad and maybe rage a bit, but it shows a good player that we showed the best performance of the games at the third game after that rage. So, yeah, we have control over us, and that shows that we are quite good in the game.
And Voyboy, obviously you've had a nice 2 days rest with coming through top of the group, which is always nice. Did you get to watch the SK aAa game? How do you think it went?
Yeah, we were sitting in the players' round. We watched the whole series. We see at aAa and SK seemed pretty strong. aAa was able to take it, and I mean, we kind of picked up a little bit of info, but for the most part, it was a great series, and yeah.
Yeah, and obviously you've got knowledge of each other because you played in the group stage together. What do you think of the other semi-final as well? We've got CLG Moscow 5 coming up after this one. I mean, how do you think that one's going to go? Moscow 5, you guys played against them in Kiev, so you know all about them. CLG, you've played many times online and in tournaments and actually come out successful in the group stage as well. So how do you think that one's going to go?
I mean, that's an incredibly anticipated match. They're both looking at probably their strongest they've been in a while. I know CLG was talking that they figured Moscow 5 out and they know how to counter them. So I'm really looking forward to that match and to see if they're able to pull it out. I know it's going to be really close either way. So.
And the same question to you, obviously, N-Rated. You beat Moscow 5 2-0 in the week, so you know exactly how to play against them. How do you think they're going to fare against CLG?
Well, I think they trained a strategy against them. They know how CLG plays, and CLG doesn't know how M5 plays in some situations. If CLG is not able to counter it perfectly, they might get an advantage in early game, and if they snowball it hard, they will win.
Okay, and you know, everybody wants to watch the match, so I'm just going to give you a chance to give a shout out to your fans out there.
Well, I want to thank the German and the French community for supporting us, especially our team, aAa, and our sponsors, because without them, we won't be here.
And again, the same to you, Voyboy. Anything shout out to fan sponsors? I can see your managing director sat in the crowd as well.
Just thank you to our fans. Thanks for supporting us. Thanks to Team Dignitas and Intel, Alienware, and Razer. So, thanks, guys.
Well, thank you very much. And over to the commentators. It will be Rivington and Xenon for this one. It's going to be a great game, guys.
Yeah, such a great game this is going to be.
Amazing game.
And you know, Demon just said that CLG and M5 are pretty much at their best in a long time, but the same can be said for these two teams here. Dignitas did not convince us that much at Kiev. I mean, they did take third place, so that's not too shabby, but they didn't really play their best. They didn't have a lot of time to practice before Kiev. Now they are properly practiced. Now they've had weeks and weeks of really focused practice, focused study sessions where they sat down together, at least so the rumor mill says, studied the enemy teams together, and the same goes for AAA. I mean, they were kind of a decent-ish team the last couple of months, but now that they have their MoMA back, now that they have N-Rated instead of OSAFT, they look completely unbeatable, and this is really the kind of game, Rivington, that you want to see. Two teams that each look unbeatable going up against each other.
Yeah, they do. The jungles are going to be big for this one. Dominate has been doing very well in the jungle for his team as well. We saw a few Nautilus. as well as Linak playing strong for his team but faltering a little bit. So we'll have to see if their jungle is really a reason that the lanes are continuing to win for Dignitas. We'll have to see if that's where they take over. Dignitas not really known to strong counter jungle. Like I said, Voyboy in that top lane and Scar in the middle lane is very powerful for them, and they work those two lanes aggressively, and then they carry on from there. You know, against All Authority, though, we've been saying this entire tournament, they are very strong right now, a high caliber team. They're able to take down Moscow 5 online as well, continuously game after game, and best out of freeze. So they are a force to be reckoned with right now. The players getting into the game, they're going to get these picks and bans underway, which is one of the most crucial parts of this matchup. A lot of people know what the picks and bans are about, but here at IEM Hanover, there are numerous people that have not played, so we're going to go over it real quick. Each team can ban out 3 champions from each side, and you're going to see that. These are a focus picks or focus bans towards their opposing team. They know and understand what their opposing team plays and what would give them a better advantage going into the picks while banning those champions. And you'll see each team has a chance for 3.
Immediately we see the top lane hit twice, Irelia and Udyr taken out of it, then 2 bans for the mid lane. I like that symmetry. Rice and Karth was taken out of the mid lane there. The top lane, I think, is going to be absolutely crucial. There's another top lane ban. Shen taken out. Hotshot putting up an amazing performance as Shen in that first game against, what was it, against Curse yesterday. That was just incredible. If you've not seen that, go watch him do his magic with Shen. And final ban is going to Dignitas. Karthus has, of course, been banned already. There's the Ramos ban. So that's Karthus ban is clearly aimed at MoMA, and Ramos ban.
There's the pick, the contested pick. We actually talked to both Dignitas and AAA this morning, and they were like, one of us needs Corki. You know, somebody's gonna grab it. He's very good right now, just aggressive in the play. The compositions they want to work makes Corki work very well. He's got the kite from Valkyrie, very long range. He can stay behind the defensive line, and very tanky teams have been coming out in this tournament. They go with a safe top contested support pick this tournament, Jana. They are going to take that, and the Shyvana as well. Going to be able to clear that jungle and look for an early gank on this.
That is going to mean very, very bad things for Linak in his jungle, because that Shyvana is a counter jungling monster. And oh, there is the Leona as well. So AAA get to run there so far. I think practically undefeated Leona Corki. I think they only lost that SK game with that lane. And Leona Corki is, and honestly at this point, just shout out to N-Rated for finally playing Leona in a game. I'm casting. So happy about that.
You know, that's a really strong lane too, because Leona's passive that gets on to whoever she hits, and then Corki's going to be able to do a little bit extra damage on that. So you're just feeding Corki more and more damage, and we're going to have to see how they work that. We do have a Twitch being picked, but they also said that in lobby. I'm playing Twitch this game. He's probably going to flip it out. Just a placeholder for now. Exactly. But Locust has taken Lee Sin. We'll have to see what they work with that, and it looks like they are going to counter with Ezreal on that. And Cutie Pie been playing very strong with Ezreal. He was made to pick that one of the other games. He said, oh, you took my Corki, now what do I do? And he actually went on to just have an amazing game with Ezreal that time.
So now we will see what Linak wants to run in the jungle. There's a couple of options for him open still, but Lee Sin and Shyvana have been picked by Dignitas, and Udyr, Ramos have been banned. So let's see what he's going to run. It's a very interesting strategy to attack the enemy jungler, because you say our top lane is better than your top lane. So you need jungle help more than we do. So we're going to take your jungler out, and that is going to make your top lane fail. Linak still leaving that pick open. There's a couple of things he could do. He could run a Nocturne, but I don't think that Linak likes running Nocturne. Maokai is also still up for grabs, a top contested jungler. Linak does like playing Shake, but that's the Mundo. Yeah, Mundo makes sense.
It's going to be the Mundo running Exhaust as well, too. So that's going to be speed in the jungle. And as we've pointed out before, that Mundo, if you find the jungler, you're going to have Flash. You have an escape. That jungler has Exhaust. You're going to lose to that jungler.
All right. And we have Voyboy now locking in the last pick. Mordekaiser being locked in there. Yep, Mordekaiser locked in, and it's going to go obviously to Skara there in mid lane. And I was speaking to AAA earlier in the day about that, about the Mordekaiser from Skara. I asked them if they're scared, and they said, no, you know what, we're not really scared, because Mordekaiser, as Skara builds him, is super squishy. Skara almost always builds Will of the Ancients into Deathcap, and as long as you gank really, really hard, you can shut him down early game. Then again, there was one Mordekaiser that Scara ran where he went 0-3-0,
right,
and then still aced in a team fight. So
yeah, it's somebody that can come back. Mordekaiser is one of those champions that you can't count out right away, especially in the hands of Scara. Just very strong. He has great mechanics in the game, always keeping his shield up in the most opportune situations. He figures out who's going to be in the fight, so we'll go ahead, throw shield on them, assisting them, but also gaining shield the entire time because they're right in the fight. So we'll have to see the switch arounds come out. The Voyboy is going to be a top Lee Sin there. Very nice. Dominate in the jungle, as we said, with Shyvana. This is a very sticky AAA team, though. That is a lot of CC.
Yes, there's a lot of slows, a lot of CC. Leona in lane has, I think, a total of 3.6 seconds of lockdown on an enemy champion. It's just sick. It's this kind of kill lane. On the other hand, Enrated told me that if you get one good counter gank in on Leona, she can be taken out of the game so easily because she's very, very fragile if you gank her early on in lane. And that is probably what Dominate is going to look to be doing. Top lane, I think it was a last-second switch. Last second they put Lee Sin in the top lane. Yes, Voyboy is going to run a Lee Sin. He had the Shyvana locked in before that, but I don't think he was kidding anyone there. It's obvious that Dominic is going to go into the jungle with that Shyvana. And Linak on Mundo, I guess it's a very, very top contested jungler at the moment as well. Riven for Soas in top lane. Riven versus Voyboy's Lee Sin. Not entirely sure how that is going to work out. We're going to see that. Again, Voyboy is the stronger top lane player at the moment. We'll have to see if he can still dominate as hard as before. But we're now actually launching into the game here. So we don't have too many people yet, but maybe we can have a little bit of noise here for aAa versus Dignitas. And we are in game right now. Both teams are setting up. Looks like very aggressive movement here from AAA. They're immediately going into the river. Mundo probably just scouting for the enemy team. Oh, they're changing their mind. They're maybe going into the Lizard jungle for Dignitas, and only 4 members of Dignitas are there and ready. AAA need to find a way to invade where they can't be spotted. I'm not entirely sure where that clairvoyance just went down. I think there was a clairvoyance at least. Do they even have one? They do not, so I'm hearing things. And Voyboy gets spotted here. Oh, the Dark Binding barely missing him there. That could have been bad news for Lee Sin. But I guess he saw that one coming.
Yeah, it looks like, yes, after being seen there, they are going to go ahead and jump out, trying to be careful. But being seen top, Dignitas says, you know what, we feel comfortable doing a little bit of an invade bottom here. Maybe we'll even get closer than you think we are going to. And we'll see now against all 30 moving back into their jungle, feeling that it's quite safe. They do have some wards around, but those are in the right side. So they did see him coming down. They do know that Locust is right there. Good ward placement as well. A lot of early wards in this tournament that we've seen, and it's really helped out in the camps. We could have a first round 5v5. Cutie Pie caught by Dark Binding. First blood going to Against All Authority. A double kill coming up on Dominate with the Ignite, and Yellow Star starts his lane with 2 kills.
Ouchie, that's going to hurt quite a bit. Voyboy wasn't there. Don't think it would have helped anyway. AAA had a perfect binding on Ezreal. Very, very squishy target there. And yes, you can see his nick is Mr. Orange. It should be Cutie Pie, of course. He tried to change his nick back, but apparently that's difficult. That is the best start that AAA could have hoped for. They start with a 1.2k gold advantage here, Rivington. This is going to be pretty bad news for Dignitas Nerfs as well. So I don't know how they're going to deal with it, especially Cutie Pie here in bot lane, who had his Corki for most of the important games, now has to play an Ezreal against somebody who is as known as he is for playing a really strong Corki. Yeah. In mid lane though, we see a exhaust gank coming in from Linak as well on Scara, so the ganking in mid starting super early in the game, a flash being used by Scara. He is not going to be safe at all, and I think Linak is going to come back as soon as he can. He's going to farm up a little bit.
Oh no, Locust moving out of position, but it looks like he's going to be all right. And I'm going to point out that Yellowstar did not go back. He had so much experience. He's already level 2, and he's just going to have such an advantage by staying in lane. He didn't want Cutie Pie to get up on that experience at all. So look at them just pressure out bottom lane. This is not going to be good for Dignitas down bottom. So as taking a lot of damage from Voyboy top, and point out in that first level 1 fight, 3 people got 2 assists, and Corky picked up 2 kills. So that's just huge for them. Yellowstar taking a lot of damage bottom. Ignite is on. Can he get the other attack off? Beautiful job by N-Rated to slow down the attack. Yellowstar going to go ahead and come back very dangerous to lane.
Oh, Morgana, though, going into the enemy jungle right now. She seems to know the timing, but did not manage to get a dark binding off. Linak trying to gank top lane. It's easy. If he gets in on Viper, he gets the slow in, but there's no follow-up. Interesting.
Looks like Shyvana still feeling comfortable. Dominate coming out of his jungle into the river, now red and blue. It looks like this will just be somewhat of a counter. He has that ward there, possibly picking up wraiths here and denying some resources for Linak.
Just smiting and running, being super safe. Linak was just seen top lane, so he knew he couldn't be here yet. Linak has picked up that blue buff for himself right now. Is going to go and invade by the looks of it. Oh, at the same time though in bottom lane, nope.
Yellowstar, Valkyrie over middle. They're trying to get to Skara. I believe Yellowstar, Yellowstar has that? No, he does not. He has Flash, so they wouldn't have been able to slow down. They were hoping to get the Dark Binding on Skara. Skara still usually plays quite aggressive, even after blowing a Flash in middle from a gank, so that's exactly what they're trying to do. Still the focus from Linak from the jungle, coming from behind Skara. Moma from the backside as well. Can they get the Dark Binding on? There's just too many minions around, but it's just going to be enough pure damage to take down Skara in middle, and he needs to be a lot more careful without that flash up.
That's exactly what aAa said they were going to do if Skara runs his Mordekaiser mid lane. Just gank him from very, very early on, because he plays a squishy Mordekaiser and it's working so well. Actually, great play from Linak here. He was hiding just behind the corner here when Skara came to check if there was a jungle gank incoming, and just as Skara went back into lane, he was like, you know what, I am here after all. So Linak with really great play so far, 101 on Mundo there, who is of course my favorite champion because he's my forum avatar, Rivington. So, what's your forum avatar?
Karate Cannon.
Oh yes, no cannon for you yet, but there's at least one more game, and Soas is known for his cannon.
Soas trading.
Yeah, looks like they're both gonna be fine for now.
The Cloth 5 pots is definitely keeping Voyboy in lane, and it looks like he goes for another attack.
Yep.
Riven coming out with a quick key burst. That's going to stun him up. Mordekaiser looks like he's going to ward around. He's going to be trying to steal those wraiths from now on. He wants that extra experience. Bottom lane pushing quite hard.
Ooh, top lane Voyboy taking a bit of tower damage here, but successfully harassing Soas down to just a little bit above 100 HP. So look at Skara pushing like crazy. Look at that. This man is not afraid of ganks, I guess.
No, really not. Trying to play aggressive, trying to not let Moma farm up whatsoever. With those assists, it's going to make it very hard for these lanes to be won right now. And with those wards down, they somewhat know that there is one behind them. That vision ward went down.
Oh, in bottom lane though, N-Rated going in. The Ignite is down on Locust. Can Yellowstar follow up? No, he cannot get in range to do a lot more damage. Once he's level 6 though, that is going to look a lot different. And it looks like Janna is going to have to go home right now. Probably earlier than she wanted. Voyboy also going home. Let's see if he's going to come back with a ward. What is he buying? He's still waiting to buy in. Oh, there's a pause. Looks like there may be a little bit of an issue there. We'll see what we got for them very soon. We have we have a little bit of a monitor issue possibly there. We're going to fix that really quick for you. We have a very good track record of pauses this tournament so far. They were all under a minute, so let's hope we're not going to go over
Voyboy doing very well top here, having about a 10 CS lead, not too much. We do see that Soas still very much in that top lane game, as well as Shyvana going up top. So they may be trying to fix something up as Shyvana gets back to lane. Dominate's going to be there first. Maybe we'll see that Voyboy comes around the bottom side. There really isn't too much warding going on up top yet, so they may work off something there. A lot of the focus, as we said, between these teams have been that focus top lane. They just say it's easier to gank. There's not as much going on. Obviously, with the support bottom and so much else going on, all the wards that are usually placed bottom, that top is just a really good focus. And if you can completely win that lane, it's such an advantage.
And Skara, one of the people who is really well known for farming extremely well. He is at 44 CS in spite of that gank, but Moma is out farming him, of course. 48 currently on Morgana. Morgana, one of those champions, just needs to put down a Dark Binding, and he already does have those 2 Doran's rings from the 3 assists that he has at the moment. And here we can see one of our admins talking to Dominic, who may be having that issue. All right, so as soon as we got this straightened up, we're going to go back into the game and going to resum the game. We can also see on our minimap, you can't see that at the moment, but we can see it, that Linak is in position yet again for another gank on mid lane here, Rivington. Yep. And in spite of all the ganks, Skara, here we can see him pushing so very aggressively. Skara currently in 100% serious mode. You can see it in his face. A little bit of maybe some other issues. He's still talking to an admin at the moment. But any moment now, we should be back into this. Yes, definitely Skara in serious mode. When you see Skara not smiling, you know that he is 100% focused on this game. And that happens very, very rarely, I can tell you that. Bottom lane is also still even in spite of that advantage for Corki. So it's just 3 CS ahead.
Yeah. And it looks like they will be going back into this real quick. If you're just joining us for this game, we are here on the second to last day of your IEM World Championship. We are against All Authority versus Dignitas. This game started out very quickly. 2 kills in favor of Yellow Star right off the bat, able to take down both champions opposing in his lane. The support and the AD, we had Cutie Pie and Locust both going down, which made that a very strong lane for them. I think Locust didn't go down. It was Shyvana that went down. But oh, in mid lane there is the gank coming in again. Skara super low, is slow, uses his ultimate on the moment, but is going to fall to Linux. What is it? Burning Agony. Yes. And Moma really doesn't care too much about the ultimate on him right now. And this is aAa managing to play exactly their game. This is the game they wanted to play. They told me literally this morning at 7 o'clock here in the venue. I was talking to them and they were like, yeah, let him run his Mordekaiser. We'll just gank him non-stop and he's not going to be able to come to the game. Then again, I'll just say it again, he has been able to come back from worse before. Looks like Voyboy doing a little damage to Soaz up top. Wow, very nice trade for him and the upper hand there. Back towards middle, Dominate, soaking up some XP and trying to push that lane off the tower so you can get Skara back in there and soaking up that much needed experience right now. Skara 0-2 in the game, 45 to Morgana's 61. And that's going to be a tough one to come back from, especially since, as we have said before, Morgana, nice dark binding there on Skara, going to do a little bit of damage. But Morgana is just going to continue to push that lane. Locust trying to get out there and place down some wards. A very nice ward there, and he's going to be able to clear the other vision ward. Now they have vision on Dragon, and we may see some movement for that in the next few minutes. This would be a very early Dragon, but they do have Mundo, who has amazing Dragon control with his cleaver. Enraid is actually catching Locust here. Yellowstar immediately switching around to him, but that's the exhausted Yellowstar, so not a lot of damage, and he has the Valkyrie out of it. Enraid is still in the middle of everything, though. Cutie Pie not quite managing to find a path back to his tower yet, but is going to be fine. At the same time, though, Linak is coming in possibly for a gank in top lane. Ooh, looping around now. Enrated still trying to dive, very low, under 100 HP, flashes away, but here comes Skara. Can he pick up the double kill? No, it's one for Cutie Pie, and Skara will finally put himself on the scoreboard at 1-2. And that's a very nice job by Dignitas, bottom lane. At the same time, a gank from Mundo in top lane, not quite so successful. Voyboy, just such a dominant player in this top lane. Let's just watch him a little. Oh, actually, as we're watching Voyboy, Dignitas are going for that first Dragon off. Based off the wipe of bottom lane, there's not much that Moma can do at this point. As well, ulti shouldn't bother him too much. And yeah, they need to be careful not to get engaged on here. Let's watch Voyboy and Soaz dance a little bit there in top lane, because I just want to see how Voyboy does this. Linak just stole blue, by the way. Oh, wow. Okay, well done, Linak. Every time I try to watch top lane, something amazing happens. Voyboy is at 65 to Soaz's 56, so the advantage is building. And Voyboy, you can just see he is bullying Soaz so hard there. And now he's taken a page from Darian's playbook, pushing the top lane into tower and going for a blue steal. Let's see where Cutie Pie is in his build. Cutie Pie up to 3 Dorns already, pretty much catching up to Yellow Star. A very nice job there. It looks like a little bit of an invasion. Linak finds him at blue buff. Blue buff resetting. No, he released it. So he should be fine. Actually, Moma gets caught there. Voyboy coming in as well. There's an ignite. And the last damage tick from the ultimate should be enough. So Skara turning it around here in mid lane. Indeed he is, and they're going to go back for this as well. They want to give Voyboy a little bit of harass here. Linak, however, meeting Skara in the bush. Burning Agni doing quite a bit of damage. Skara may fall, but that shield builds up. Very nice job from Voyboy on the safeguard. And it looks like Linak, no, he does not lose blue. That would not have helped too much for him. They do as well find Soaz, the ultimate from Shyvana, and it looks like there's a big chase. Nice infected cleaver from Linak.
And bot lane actually had to come up to help in all of this. I think blue buff still not taken. Yeah, blue buff still standing there, waiting to be taken. That was super aggressive invasion there, and it all started with Voyboy dominating his top lane, pushing it into tower, and then saying, you know what, I'm gonna go and take your golem.
Voyboy doing a great job bottom lane of forcing these minions into the turret, and he looks how aggressive he is right now, dodging the Zenith Blade from N-rated, backing off. Now, he doesn't want to be taking those turret shots, but he did just take a few as his damage was ticking.
Rivington
called aggro.
Voyboy is so good, he can push minions bot lane even when he's top lane. That's how good he is in this game. I'm trolling you. It's fine. Yep, Cutie Pie is setting up in the brush here in bot lane. He wants to bully back a little bit. It's 72 to 69, so he is slowly building an advantage. It looks like MoMA is going to be given his blue buff now, finally. And yeah, it looked super strong for aAa in the beginning of the game. They were 4-0 up, but Dignitas are coming back from this. They're finding their way back in.
Voyboy all by himself up top. Soaz needing to stay in lane a little bit more. He is under-leveled. According to Voyboy, it's 9 to 8 there, and Voyboy is almost about to level. He's halfway already to 10, so he's going to have a little bit of domination in lane. Stats are higher, his health is higher, he's tankier, and he's been also winning that lane as well. Looks like he may get a little bit of an assistance here. Dominate buying that Oracles now 12 minutes into the game. They could focus on something. They do see the ward, but it looks like they may still pressure this a little bit, at least zoning Soaz as MoMA returns back to his lane, that blue buff on.
Yeah, and Linak was waiting in the brush at bot lane for a lane gank for the longest time, and I think, yes, he's going to make it happen. There is the slower on Cutie Pie who uses his is it called Flux Shift? The Arcane Shift. There you go. Yes, this Arcane Shift to be safe. There was the Essence Flux. There you go. Arcane Shift. Yes, he's shifting out arcanely. Safe enough there. That's a very nice thing about playing Ezreal. That's super safe. Escape skill that he has there. Dominate in the enemy jungle is going to take some tasty wolves for himself there. Oh, that is just so quick on that Shyvana. He's going to leave one wolf. That is mean. But there you go. And Voyboy bullying Soaz there in that top lane.
Yeah, almost a 30 creep score advantage, about 26 right now. Voyboy doing a very nice job, not even really putting any damage down onto Soaz, just trying to poke at him here and there, win the trade and not take any.
That was a cute move. Ezreal tried to steal the red buff with the ult. He was just about a second too late there. They must have had vision on Linak going for it and timed it, but didn't time it entirely perfectly. MoMA in mid lane is at 109 CS versus 119 for Skara, who has his Will of the Ancients. So Skara is coming back into this game in a big way. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, Skara. Soaz in top lane, nothing new to report, Rivington. Still a lot of bullying going on. Kids, don't bully, it's wrong. Unless you're in a game of League of Legends, in which case it's okay.
So at this point you have to question, would that bottom lane really be going in favor of Against All Authority if Yellowstar had gone back and purchased as soon as he got those kills? It seems that Cutie Pie was really able to catch up here, and he's kind of just evening out the lane and now pushing. Yellowstar is forced to back, Cutie Pie doing a little bit more damage on his auto attacks, and really great job by Dignitas to come back on that bottom lane against a 2-0 AD right off the bat.
Yeah. The junglers dancing a little bit in the river there. No real encounter quite yet. They're both setting up for... Oh, actually, the dragon is still down, of course. Yeah, but they may be setting up for dragon again. First dragon, of course, did go to Dignitas after they killed the bot lane there. Linak just pulled the enemy blue buff, actually. So now aAa with the invade onto Dignitas. And Leona is there as well, doing a little bit of extra damage. And MoMA picking up the enemy blue buff there. There is another Ezreal ultimate. Going nowhere at all in a hurry.
Cutie Pie ultis everywhere.
Yep, Soaz and Voyboy find each other here. There's going to be a bit of dancing, but yeah. Riven is one of those champions who can really run very, very well. Now it looks like aAa are pushing mid lane in preparation for that dragon pickup, Rivington.
Yeah, there's a little bit of movement here. We can also see Voyboy is coming down from the top lane. You can see the movement here for the dragon. This is going to be a contested fight. And it looks like Linak's going to be the first one in, possibly with a ward down. No, he doesn't have any. He's just making sure nobody's in that area. And as both teams start to mill about and gather at the bottom, we're about to have this dragon fight.
Yep, Dominate and Voyboy going in there. They almost all of Team Dignitas is there. Only the support is currently split off from them. A split team is always a weaker team, but they do find Moma and Source here, and they're going in very aggressively. Moma is using his ultimate, but it's not enough to stay alive, and he falls before the ultimate stun can proc. Source is going to run away from this, but you know what? Dignitas are going to be happy with it. Actually, they find N-Rated and Linak here. N-Rated has to use his ultimate just to get away, flashing across the Dragon Pit. And that fight is just looking so good for Dignitas, even though they were split.
Wow.
Voyboy going in again, and Exhaust was down on Yellow Star. There is the ultimate from Esper as well. The heal used, it's not going to be enough. It is actually with a flash. And Linak also just barely getting away from this. Look at Dignitas, so aggressive here. And during that whole time, I think, yep, Shyvana just solo Dragon.
You know, very nice job. And, you know, Xenon, this is something you've pointed out before. The pinch on Dragon, usually not the thing that works. They got pushed out on the side. They had less people into a 4v2 situation, and they got taken down really quick. They're going to get a tower off of this, possibly head down to Dragon, or they got Dragon and Dragon.
They have Dragon, Dragon, yes, absolutely. Cutie Pie gets caught, but no danger there. Nothing, no threat from Morgana at the moment. Both Tormented Soil and her ultimate were down, Soul Shackles. And Shyvana also picking up a tower there in bot lane. So Dignitas are coming back into this game. They are definitely in the lead right now with about a 4.4k gold advantage. That is not what you expected after their first 4 kills of that game.
Great mechanics top by Voyboy. You can just see him absolutely dodging all the attacks from Riven, using his safeguard, using his Q, and then again to get himself away and just deter that damage. Looks like Moma in middle. Skara trying to keep those minions right against the tower though. Shows face, dodging that Dark Binding, very nice.
And the reason he's doing that is that so Moma can't leave the lane and can't find Voyboy taking the blue buff. And there it is. Blue buff, of course, not ideal on Mordekaiser, but it's really great that it's not on Morgana.
Skara saying, I kind of want these wraiths, but I don't know where Moment just went, so I'm going to go ahead and back to my lane. There's a nice push by Yellow Star. Another ulti from Cutie Pie went ahead and cleared some of those minions rather on the bottom lane, so they were able to get back before too much damage to that turret was done. Voyboy still staying top. That CS score 128 to 111. So a little bit of a regain there, trying to close the gap. Soaz doing good in his lane right now. Finished that Wriggles. Right now, Voyboy's build is the Wriggles finished as well. So they're pretty much even in that lane. Voyboy able to trade the damage, though, so he's been able to keep Soaz at his turret most of the time.
And Dignitas are winning all their lanes at the moment. They are winning in kills and also in dragons. 2-0 the dragon score at the moment. It's looking really good for them, and that is in spite of the fact that aAa really got to play their own game. They had a game plan against Mordekaiser, and they were running exactly that plan, and it just still was not enough.
Looks like they just got a ping onto red. They saw some movement there, so they're going to start invading on the jungle. Nice ward by Locust.
Yep,
they have
red,
3 right now in that bottom jungle. Skara feeling comfortable out taking these with Cutie Pie and Locust right on his back. Nobody in mid.
Soaz getting dove on though in top lane. He's jumping away, but the Q was there from Voyboy. He has to use a flash as well. And that is going to be top tower for Dignitas as well.
And very nice job there. The global gold continually building up here. 300 from turrets. They also got Dragon, 190 for everybody. And that's 27,000 to 22,000 right now. That 5K difference putting a little bit of mid-game hurt here onto Against All Authority, despite the fact that they had 2 kills on a level 1 invade.
Voyboy baiting the ultimate out of Morgana there in top lane in a 2v1 situation where they still could not kill Voyboy. Incredible play right now from the top laner from Dignitas. Voyman is on top of his game, and he is winning that top lane so decidedly. And not just the top lane, also every time he pushes the top lane into the enemy tower, he goes and takes blue from the enemy forest. Yep. That is shutting down the entire team, AAA.
Linak finally grabbing a ward. And Oracle's here, able to clear out some wards. They do get a ping onto Baron. They're going to want to throw down a ward there, possibly clear it out as well. Linak says, just give me a little bit of backup here. Corky's going to stay in the bush, and they're safely going to clear out any wards which are not... Oh, hey! What's... Dominates right there to place it. Linak's like, that's what I was looking for. I'll take that gold. And Voyboy returning to top. Looks like a Cutie Pie farming away down bottom. Doing very good there. The CS for the ADs is 157 to 140, so they're keeping it pretty close still.
Morgana now picking up the build-up farm in bot lane for herself. She does have the Hourglass, so she can go in there and do a very, very safe ultimate. Not quite sure what he was clearing out with that ultimate from Ezreal, but okay. Yep, she's picking up that farm for herself easily enough. aAa will need to start a team fight at an objective sometime soon in a way that actually gives them a good advantage for the fight. They need to take somebody like Skara just out of the fight immediately, and I don't think it's going to happen at the moment. They don't have that kind of burst in their team. I mean, yeah, they have Leona who can keep somebody in place, but Morgana's ultimate does damage over time. Mundo just burns people down over time. Corki is more of an overtime pokey AD champion as well. So at this moment, I think aAa really need to find a fight where they have a numerical advantage. I don't see them winning it any other way.
It looks like they have moved down towards Dragon, making sure there's no wards there at least. It should be coming up soon again. The Dark Binding missing, and that is going to cause I Will Dominate to start his ulti off on this fight. He gets exhausted. N-Rated trying to get out of this one as he is the tank. A nice Janna ulti pushes Morgana, however, into the team. Skara will go down here. I'm a Cutie Pie trying to stay on the outside as they also drop Locust in this fury of this fight. Dominate will finally go down, losing his oracles as well. And it just looked like that Janna ulti was really what sealed the deal for Against All Authority on that one. It looked good until you saw it was Moma's ulti still attached to 3 people, continuously knocking on the door of Dignitas' middle turret here. They're going to be focusing on to Cutie Pie. He could go down, trying to trade damage. Voyboy able to take down Leona. N-Rated is on the ground, and everybody turns. The Tormented Soil still ticking away with the Spell Vamp, and Hellsteel keeps him alive for just another second. A great job by Against All Authority coming out, as well as Dignitas on the 3-3.
Cutie Pie there with the cleanup. Incredible moves from Ezreal. And you know what? He doesn't seem to be suffering for the fact that he doesn't have his trademark Corki at all. That fight went really, really badly for Dignitas. And what they did there is pretty much what I said they had to do. They took Skara out of it. And I guess they underestimated the burst that Morgana can deliver with her ultimate and another Q into Tormented Soil, which is exactly what killed Skara there. But the entire fight started, I mean, the fight started to turn well for aAa when N-Rated went in with his Ileona and landed a perfect ultimate centered square on Skara, and they picked it up from there. But even without Skara, so much damage there.
Yeah, it was a really nice job. They kept all their AD in the back. Cutie Pie was doing what he could, but he was just forced out of the fight by Linak. Very nice job there. Looks like Voyboy is going to be farming top. Quick break here as N-Rated getting himself back in. And just a beautiful fight there. As you said, you know, N-Rated coming out with that ulti. They want to shut down Skara, and they did just that. There's way too much AoE from him in the fight. And then that Locust pushing Morgana right back into the fight. Momo was like, yes, thank you very much. I'll stun 3 teammates. That's perfectly fine with me.
And from Momo's movements, I was looking at where he was moving. The only thing he wanted to do was actually get the stun proc off of Skara. That was the most important thing for him. But of course, every other stun proc that you get, you'll take it. You know, that's quite nice. The Morgana ultimate is, of course, the main reason why Morgana is banned so often, because that ultimate can just turn a team fight around in no time at all, and that seems to be what they're doing. And we see the team here looking at Dignitas right now. There seems to be some sort of a problem with the machine that they're playing on again. I'm not entirely sure what it is. Just waiting for the admins to figure things out. They don't need to be too unhappy though at the moment, because that team fight, even though it looked like it was totally turning in the favor of aAa there at first, in the end it was just Voyboy and Cutie surviving from Dignitas, and they did all that damage. Voyboy just going in there, not afraid of anyone. It took 3 people to take him down in the end.
Fighting on Tormented Soil.
Yes, and it was, he still almost took one of aAa with him. And now there was a hint of a smile on Skara's face there for a second, and no, just pure concentration from Team aAa. We can see their faces very, very serious here. I think we're all ready. There was actually an "Are you ready?" and then no, hold on 1 second. So, yep. Yeah, we can see the players looking at their pause screens. So actually, Linak playing in window mode, real window mode troll. I like it. We have a European Dyrus. Although Dyrus doesn't play in window mode anymore. He kind of sold out there to
window
full
mode lock screen.
Huh?
Window mode lock screen, man.
Yeah, that's how you play.
So we see Skara changing up his build a little bit. Obviously not an unorthodox build. He just wanted a little more magic resistance first and in your face. And that Abyssal Scepter, such a great purchase. You get so much more out of it with just such little items in the recipe. It's such a great build. It's going to give the entire your entire team a little bit more damage with that AP, since it's lowering the magic resistance of the other team while you're in that fight. Obviously, you got to be in there to get the aura, so it's going to be very nice when everybody starts to combine together. They'll have cut down onto Morgana. They don't have too much AP that also helps that, but Scar knew he needed that resistance in middle, and he said, why not with a little bit of power?
Yeah, it looks like we need to change out a monitor actually here. That is what the problem is at the moment, but the IEM tags are on it, and we'll get that switched up for you really, really soon. The build that QEPie is running there for him is a bit of a, well, sometimes it's called a greedy build, where they don't build the Trinity Force first, but instead go for a Bloodthirster first. Yep. But in this fight, we could just see it working that well, because the rule of thumb of lifesteal is that it's more useful the fewer people are left in a fight. If there's still 5 people, they can just all man pile on you and you're taken out, then your lifesteal isn't going to help you that much. But when it's just very few people left and you're just trading blows, that lifesteal can really keep you in the fight and allow you to not just pick up one-on-ones, but also like win little 2-on-2s like we just saw in the end of that team fight there. Don't see 2-on-2s quite that often on Summoner's Rift, as opposed to the Crystal Scar, of course, but still, in the end of a team fight, sometimes you just have leftovers, and leftovers fighting each other.
Ooh, Boy, so close to being scary. He's looking to finish that Atma's.
Oh, yeah, he has the frozen model already. He is going to have an Atma's very, very soon. He also has the Lantern for ultimate lane sustain. 313 his score, 314 the score from QEPie. The best score on the enemy team is Mundo's 403. Linak doing a really good job. After a lot of people said Linak is kind of like the less impressive jungler of this tournament, you know what? He's showing you guys he actually knows what he's doing. He's actually not too bad. He went for the Warmox first, which is of course great for Mundo. 2 skill scale with max HP for Mundo, and 1 skill scales with missing HP. So Warmox just an absolutely great first buy there. He is going to be super tanky. It's just no way to focus him out. And once he builds that Atma's as well, he is also going to do tons of damage.
Tons of. I've heard that before.
I don't know who says that.
I've heard that before.
Must be some amateur caster saying that. Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah.
So 200 on to Skara. Skara right now with a good amount of CS, as Curse was taken out of the tournament yesterday. The highest CS in the tournament went to Alex Ish, still in the tournament. So
Ish. He told me how to say it yesterday, but I forgot again. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just pronouncing it German because I am German. Yeah, highest CS average in the game, but of course he had a super long game against Curse.
Yes.
So that will distort that figure a little bit there for you. And as you can see, it is super early in the morning, and already so many of you out there. I thank you so much for being out here and for making esports happen, because it wouldn't happen if it wasn't for all of you guys coming out here before 10 a.m.
Yeah.
I never get up. I never wake up before 10 a.m. on a normal day.
Indeed. Let's see who's here for who. Everybody for Against All Authority. Who wants Against All Authority to take this first match? All right, so there's some out there.
There's a few people. Let's see. Do we have any Dignitas fans in the house at all? Ouchies.
That's all right.
And so we're in Europe. We are in Europe.
Yeah,
just to remind everybody, we're actually in Europe. The game, as you can see, has resumed. We haven't quite yet, because we have a spectator lag of about 10 to 12 seconds. So we are going to go into this game very, very quickly
Seeing
again.
the future.
Yes, you are seeing
into the future.
From the future here.
It consists of a lot of clicking, a few drinks, and usually
mostly Red Bull.
A lot of fun.
Yes, yeah, these guys are here for purely to have fun, of course, and there is the trophy. That's the other thing they're here for. They want to have their name engraved.
No, they don't want that. That's too big. You can't take that home on the plane.
You could drink out of that, dude.
Okay, I'll take it. There they want it.
We are back in the game. Yep, everything should be fine. We switched out the faulty monitors, so everything should be good. Of course, this thing will happen eventually. And I'm very, very happy with how well the admins have been dealing with this. Linak just clearing wards around Baron here. aAa may be setting up for a Baron fight. The last team fight looked really good in the beginning of it. I'm not entirely sure what turned it around for Dignitas, but maybe aAa no. And Linak's like, really? You're just gonna keep giving me those wards? That's fine. It's okay by me. Skara gets slowed down. Soa's going in there as well, but there's a lot of people around Dignitas as well. Another ultimate hitting Skara, the Ezreal ultimate going through N-rated on Linak there. And that wasn't all that much burst, really, on Skara. And that's what we always say, they just don't have the burst, really.
Looks like Voyboy was pretty hungry on that one. A lot of good ultis pretty much prevented that fight from happening. The N-rated ulti from Leona, everybody was a little too far away to complement that and help them with the damage on the ulti. The Dark Binding did match, but a great ulti from Locust on the Monsoon pushed everybody out. They're going to reset on that one. Yep. Clearing out wards once more. Linak, I want to know how much gold he's gotten off of wards this game.
Yeah, that'd be a nice stat to track. He has 520 right now, and it's entirely possible that it's all from wards.
Yep, bam. Yep. That's 75 gold from wards in the past, like, 40 seconds. And he sees another one, he wants it.
Yes. Yep, the problem is they want to burst Skara out of this fight, because Mordekaiser, the same thing applies that I said for Lifesteal, the same thing applies for Spellvamp. Of course, it's better the fewer people there are left, because you can just sustain yourself. And the thing you need to do when you still have 5 people and you have somebody with Spellvamp against you is you just burst them out of the fight. You just jump on him and just take him out. And that isn't quite happening there. There is not that much burst quite yet from Team AAA. The MoMA, of course, doing a really good job there with his bindings and the Tormented Soil. But Tormented Soil kicks in over time, and as he just said, a very good Janna ulti there, keeping Skara safe. And if Skara survives like the first 2-3 seconds of burst in a team fight, he is going to give AAA nightmares.
Yeah, that's not going to be good. There's some pretty high cooldowns on the side of Against All Authority. Riven can usually get back into the fight pretty quickly, but you're going to have that Dark Binding, the Tormented Soil, and then if the ulti misses, Morgana can pretty much throw a shield on somebody, but she's got to be very careful as she's not innately tanky. Yeah, Mundo coming in. Mundo, pretty low cooldowns. It's good for Against All Authority to have him in the fight constantly. And as you said, the early Warmogs is going to help immensely for that. Continuing to clear wards, making sure they are cleared all around the map. Voyboy doing the same.
And looks like there's still a problem. We do have Riot people here who are, of course, looking at this right now, so let's hope we get it figured out. So there seem to be 2 things going on, Rivington. One of them is a monitor problem, and the other one is, for some reason, N-rated keeps disconnecting. Maybe he thinks his team is so good that they can do it without him, or maybe he's having a problem. It's one of these 2 things, and we're getting that cleared out right now.
He's like, I leave, my gold goes to you guys, right?
Yeah,
you guys want more money? Oh, that's not going to work that way. So yeah, we're going to see that. He will be getting back in. It looks like we have another Blasting Wand in the hands of Skara. He's going to go ahead and probably build a Rabbit Noodles death cap off of that.
Rabbit Noodles are the tastiest noodles.
Rabbit Noodles cheesecake, and it's going to be fancy and dandy. We do have, it looks like, a Frozen Mallet also being built on Shyvana. This is going to make Lee Sin and Shyvana, that is, I Will Dominate and Voyboy, very hard to get away from. Every attack they do is going to slow you that much more, and it's not going to be fun. Well, not that much more, but continuously just keep it on, yeah.
And it's really funny how similar the builds are between Cutie Pie and Yellowstar here. Both of them going for Sheen into Bloodthirster into Trinity Force. Of course, Cutie Pie is somewhat ahead with, you know, the 1 kill advantage as he has, but look at it, 185 to 186 the creep score, 314 to 1, 214 the kills. So these 2 are very, very close to each other right now. It just comes down to player skill in this case. Morgana, of course, has the Hourglass, is only going to use the Hourglass if they actually focus on her during her ultimate, which is something that people should do. And of course, the other thing you can do with the Hourglass is, if you are in a position that you like, you can just proc the Hourglass, and you know that Janna can't ulti you out of it.
Yeah, right. You're not going to be hit by anything. You just sat there. You're completely invincible for a period of time, and everybody just kind of stands there. Sometimes if you use it in the wrong situation and you're coming out of it, you're like, oh, that was not the perfect time to use that. But been doing a very good job with it, keeping herself safe as she is using it, and making sure her team can capitalize off of that. And she's, you know, he's not going to be turned on in 2 seconds after it turns off.
And we're looking at N-rated right now. This is the man who's been having some problems. The question is, of course, also even once we have fixed those problems, what is this going to do to his nerves? He still looks pretty much focused at the moment. All of aAa are just with that very, very intent, focused look. All that they're seeing is the kill score is 8-8. They don't know that Dignitas is actually 6.2k gold ahead at the moment.
Yeah.
So from their perspective, everything is looking pretty equal. They, of course, know that they had to give 2 dragons away, and that might hurt them a little bit. But otherwise, they absolutely have all the chances in the world to get into this game. They just need to find a proper answer to the Scara in teamfights that they seem to be so scared of that maybe they blow too much on him. I don't know, maybe the proper answer is just don't, you know, blow everything on him and take out somebody else first. Maybe grab Cutie Pie first. Might be a good answer as well. We are going back into the game in just a second now, guys. Not much longer. I just heard that I think in the future that we're looking at, they may already be back in the game. We're looking at Cutie Pie, of course, who is indeed a Cutie Pie.
And, you know, yeah.
Yes.
I'm say yes.
Yeah, totally.
So it looks like top lane, Soaz having a little bit of trouble. You can just see the item build difference. I mean, Voyboy does have 3 kills and 3 assists, but there are 6 assists for Riven, and sometimes that's not a lot of money. If you keep getting assists all game, yeah, it looks fantastic, but that's not the amount of money you need, especially against the Lee Sin. 186 CS. It's not much higher than Riven, but you can see what those 3 kills, 3 turrets, and Dragon have been giving him.
Yep, and we are back in the game right now. Let's hope that there will be no more problems in this game. Locust and Voyboy both around Baron there. Voyboy actually running the oracles, saying, I am top lane and I am so safe, I can buy the oracles for our team. Shyvana does not currently have one. Yeah, that Dark Binding didn't quite hit anything there, and aAa are still pushing down mid lane. Now they're turning around. Voyboy farming up top lane. They need to be careful not to give him too much time to farm by himself. He's still about 30 CS ahead of Source's Riven. Ezreal ultimate going nowhere. Actually picking up a little bit of farm there. Nicely done. He doesn't really like the ultimate for teamfights that much.
Oh man, looking at the average levels of this team, Dignitas with 2 level 16s. N-rated level 10, MoMA the only level 15 on against all authority, and that is going to dominate in a fight if they can get in there. Linak level 12 with that Warmog, so if he was level 16 right now with that Warmogs, he would be a lot scarier. That's a 4-level difference that against all authority is dealing with right now for 3 to 4 champions. It's going to be very tough for them in the next fight if they cannot initiate 100% properly.
Level 16, of course, for those of you at home who may not be pro gamers, is very, very important, because at level 16 you get the 3rd level of your ultimate.
Yes.
Which is, as the name suggests, the most important skill in your repertoire. Was that a good pronunciation of repertoire? I tried very hard for you, Riven.
It was fantastic.
Great. Linak eating a little bit of Dragon Flame here. His passive means he regenerates 0.3% of his maximum health at all times. So that is one beefy Dr. Mundo. He has almost 3k health even at just level 12.
It looks like they do have a bit of a 4-on-4 here in the middle. Well, 4-on-5 rather, as Corki starts to head bottom. Yellow Star wants to grab up that farm, and once they see him bottom, that may mean, hey, let's initiate. There's no tower right there. It looks like they're kind of distancing themselves from each other, though, and Corki has not showed himself bottom yet.
Well done by him. He waited until the last second to show himself so he can pick up the farm very quickly. Let's see what the reaction is from the Dignitas. They could go in the direction of Baron, but aAa can definitely stop them with 4 people.
There's the ping from against all authority. They said, I think you need to come back up right now. And Yellow Star is like, all right, yep, here I come.
Yeah, and he is going to be there in plenty of time. Of course, Corki is a farming machine. You may think he's a flying machine. He's actually a farming machine.
Flarming.
That sounds tasty. He is so quick at clearing those minions with his rockets, with his Qs, which as you can see, he maxed. And yep, we have the same sort of stalemate that's been going on mid lane for a long time. Linak may get caught here though. Voyboy is jumping on him. Linak is just not taking any damage, and Voyboy is not pressed the issue at all.
Yeah, those are 2 people. Their cooldowns really coming up quickly, and it's not something really to initiate on. They're poking back at each other. If Voyboy were to have grabbed something there, they may have actually initiated. At that point, what both teams are looking for is a missed cooldown, a missed skill, something they can really get the advantage from. And looks like they're going to go straight for Dragon here. Voyboy is going to clear out their vision. vision, so they won't be able to get smite on it. Linak, however, picking the vision up and actually grabs Dragon away from Dignitas. Very nice job, and this fight will unfurl right above Dragon here. Skara does have the exhaust on him. His ulti will not pick up that much, and he will be taken down. Yellowstar forced out of the fight by Voyboy, and he will also go down if he cannot make it away. We do have Dominate being locked up as Moma tries to get away from the Dark Binding, and it looks like it's going to be N-rated, possibly going down. A nice Zenith Blade to pull himself out of the fight there, but he goes down.
At the same time,
E of Shyvana.
At the same time, QtPie was hunting down Soaz and getting the kill as well. So once again, it's exactly the same kind of setup in a team fight here. They take Skara out very, very early in the fight. Once again, N-rated using his ultimate just to keep that Mordekaiser in place so they can kill him. And then QtPie and Voyboy just doing the cleanups.
I was actually going to say that.
Putting
down the vision ward right there. Looks like he wants to try and get it. Now, you know, Linak's smite is down. They just used it on Dragon, but does that mean that I Will Dominate also missed or used his smite?
It's up in 10 seconds. It's going to be up in 7 seconds right now. They're turning on him right now. There's a binding on Voyboy.
Oh, Dominate. There you go.
Baron is down. Yes, and yes, Linak is also going to make it out of this, I think. Yeah, don't stay in farm. Okay, there you go.
Oh, Voyboy wishing he had a ward for that instance right there. They would have been able to take down Linak, and the Baron buff now to assist Dignitas. And they pretty much evened out after that fight, taking out 3 after losing Dragon, kind of equaled them out on the money there. But then with that Baron, they definitely took an upper hand right on that one. And it looks like Linak kind of pushing himself in here.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, that was just a very, very, very sudden domination on Linak there. Yellowstar now in a lot of trouble, still has the Black Shield. As soon as the Black Shield ends, they may get a slow down on him now. Very, very good Dark Binding is going to keep him safe. Linak certainly did not expect to get switched off like that as a Dr. Mundo. But that's the risk of going up against the Mordekaiser, who does all that damage with his ulti.
You look at the top right of the screen, you can see Scar, the Mordekaiser image right there. His Ignite is on cooldown. Ignite will half the healing of what Dr. Mundo is doing with his ultimate, so he gets taken down quite quickly, and as you said, just turned off like that.
On top of that, Children of the Grave, the ultimate from Mordekaiser, I'm hovering over here, does damage based on max health, and with the amount of AP that he has right now, it does 34 plus 19. Oh god, that's 53%. Half of that done initially, so about 25% of his health just
That's kind of
taken away right
painful.
away. Yes, that is why they are so scared of the Skara. That's why they've been trying to take him out of the fight so often, but it's just not enough. If you still have Dominate there to soak up the damage, and QtPie and Voyboy doing all that damage. Voyboy now with the Atlas Impaler on top of his Frozen Mallet, and QtPie has finished the Trinity Force, is going for a Last Whisper next with the Bloodthirster also built. And as you can see on Corki, no Trinity Force. And a Trinity Force is better than no Trinity Force.
And let's see, they're going to get a lot of damage on this tower. They will take the first of the second defense there. And it looks like they're going to push straight on in. The Dark Binding missing just, and it's going to clear out those minions on the Tormented Soil. Looks like Skara and his team are not afraid of what's going on right now. The minion wave is quite far behind them, but they have this Baron buff. Looks like it's going to be another just about 2 minutes until it wears off. So Baron will be up shortly after that as well. And with this minion wave, they're going to show a lot of aggression. They do still have Momo right there with blue buff.
Linak is in the ward. They actually get the Q and E down on him, so he's slow, but the rest of the team did not follow up. They're actually going in for the tower. Let's have a look at what's going on with Linak. He is about half health. This is going to take forever. The tower is falling. Moma is in there with his ultimate. Locust is going to fall, but so is Moma, and this is not looking good for aAa right now at all. Yellowstar falls as well. Soaz is not going to live much longer. That's going to be an inhibitor, and most likely, Rivington, that is going to be game.
It could be if this minion wave gets there fast enough. Mundo is there, and he only has so much health. If they have an Ignite, they're going to be able to turn him down, and there it is. They are just doing so much damage. He did throw on the ulti, and the Ignite soon after. That is going to be the first of this BO3 here, the IEM World Championship. Dignitas up by 1.
Voyboy laughing there. Of course, just one of those moves that we spam in the end of the game. Not actually bad mana, and there's still some tension here in Team Dignitas. Apparently some things didn't go quite as well. Dominic defending himself here. It looks like there was a hint of a smile there in the end of that, though, so I think everything is actually fine. And QtPie always smiling because he is actually a QtPie.
Locust is like,
Locust just looks like a businessman. Look at him. You imagine him in a suit? Perfect businessman right there. He could blend in at Seabit.
Locust, again, The support with the lowest CS in the tournament and the least kills.
Yeah, and the most assists.
And the most assists. That's how you play support.
Yeah, he is doing well for himself, even though Cutie did get more assists this time around. He didn't even finish level 2 boots at the end of the game. And there is Team AAA having a little bit of a discussion on what could go better next game.
I am still kind of blown away with a Corky 2 kills up. How do they lose bottom lane so quickly?
Yeah. We are going to go over to commercials, guys, but don't go anywhere. This was only game 1 of what promises to be an amazing, amazing best of 3. So don't go anywhere. AAA versus Dignitas game 2 coming up very, very soon.
What's up, you guys? I got a special little treat for you. Right to my left is, of course, Mr. Golden Boy himself, Hotshot GG, and also Chancellor. How you guys? How are y'all doing? Good. All right. So I have a little special treat because you can see to my right, we have 4 brave volunteers. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and introduce yourself first.
What?
What is your name?
I'm Dennis Meyer.
And your name?
Matthias.
I'm Alex.
Philip.
All right, thank you, boys, for coming up. Okay, so they don't know what's going on, so I'll reveal the challenge right now. And of course, you guys are here on stage because you want to win a prize, right? From CLG members themselves. What a special treat. All right, so your challenge is each of you have to imitate your favorite champion. And they are the judge, and they will pick the best impression. Look at them, they're kind of freaking out already. Okay, so let's start with contestant number 1, and after each contestant acts out your favorite champion, you guys will, tell your insight, and they will judge. Okay, your favorite champion. All right, so contestant number 1, tell us your favorite champion, and feel free to act it out.
I have to imitate it? Okay, I'm Mordekaiser.
Not bad.
Was it?
What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Not bad, right? Okay. Contestant number 2, tell us your favorite champion and feel free to act it out.
Renekton.
Thoughts?
I think it's better than the first guy.
Okay. Aww. Okay, contestant number 3, your favorite champion?
So, Malphite. I'm rolling in the deep to crush in your face.
Audience, what do you guys think? Show some love for your favorite one. Yeah? Okay. What do you guys think?
I think we're getting there. But I think number 2, I like him the most so far.
Okay, now all the pressure is on you. Are you ready for this? What is your favorite champion?
Shogun. The dark side.
All right, okay, and there you have it. Now, you guys go ahead and deliberate. Figure out which one you think is your favorite champion. How was that for you guys? Was it nerve-wracking? Yeah. Are you guys big fans of CLG?
I'm loving Hotshot.
I'm sorry?
I'm loving Hotshot. He's my favorite player.
Okay, very nice. All right, you guys. Okay, so what is the verdict?
So after a serious discussion, the Crocodile Man is the winner.
All right, congratulations. Big round of applause. You get a t-shirt. Big round of applause for our contestants. Thank you for joining us, and also congratulations for making it to the semifinals. How does it feel to be here at the World Championship?
Feels great.
Yeah.
Probably gonna continue my awesome KDA to get MVP.
Oh, yeah? And I know, I saw you guys practicing earlier. Your match is up in a little bit. How have you guys been preparing? Just practicing?
I don't know. I was just browsing Facebook.
Oh, he was just browsing Facebook. All right, well, I'm sure you guys can handle it. A big round of applause for CLG, our contestants. Thank you very much, and we're going to toss it to our casters for game number 2.
Indeed, Big Fat LP browsing Facebook, so he can say, hey guys, you should do this, and head over to Intel Extreme Masters and vote for the MVP of this tournament, because they carried today big.
That joke is going to get old, and then we're going to resurrect
and ever.
it.
But make sure Intel Extreme Masters, after the games are over today, you are going to see a tab on the site where you can go to that poll.
.com. Intel Extreme Masters.
Yes.
.com.
Yes. It is on the interwebs.
In the interwebs, indeed. Yes. At the close of games today, after the second semifinals and after the game for third, so we have 2 more best of 3s after this. Oh my God. After that, you'll be able to vote for your MVP. Personally, I don't know. N-rated Leona was kind of looking pretty good there. So, I don't know. Just saying, that's one option.
And what did they get?
The MVP who carried Hanover big is going to get, of course, the hoodie we just showed.
Yes.
This is a unique hoodie, only one made in the entire world. And yes, you can see the URL there as well. They are going to get a crazy CPU from Intel. I am not actually sure which one it is, but it's one of the top of the line CPU. Your computer is going to be smarter than you. They are going to get...
like hover next to you.
Yes, it's going to be like, really? You want to say that? I know something smarter to do. No, he's not going to do that. You're going to get a monitor. Well, he is going to get a monitor from BenQ.
Yep.
And amazing Razer gear as well. So I'm not entirely sure what it is, but I imagine at least a mouse, probably headset, keyboard as well.
Razer
makes them.
Yep, keyboard, mouse.
We are using these very, very shiny Razer mice here. Very, very nice. I'm liking them quite a bit. How are you liking them?
I'm enjoying it. It fits right to the hand. Usually I'm quite a one mouse all the way kind of guy, but I like these. They're quite nice.
This is very nice. We are almost ready to go into the second game of the day. Dignitas with a false start for the first game, not really getting into it the way they would have liked to. aAa kind of seeming to play their game. They said we're going to shut down Mordekaiser. They kind of ganked him again and again and again, and it was successful as well. And Sky said, you know what? You ganked me, that's fine. I'll still kill you, or I'll still win the team fights by taking everything.
And before you mentioned the match, we said that one of the Scar of Mordekaisers went 0-3, and that's exactly what he did. But he was like, I'm going to go ahead and turn this around. Started having the most CS in the game after being out of lane the most in the early phase, and then continuing to bring it back up, heading down, taking the Wraiths from Linak every time that he could. Great warding all over, and that the dragon fight into Baron really capitalized for them, or really was what they capitalized, and were able to take a huge lead off of
and
that.
Every single team fight in this game, it seems, started with aAa taking Skara out successfully, and then just Voyboy, Cutie Pie doing all the damage, coming back into it. And if you take out one guy and the rest of the team aces you, probably not a successful team fight, but we are all in game right now. I'm going to ask the players blindly, as you can see, if they are ready, and I mess up the keyboard layout, but that's fine. I'm always confused with when I'm somewhere abroad whether the keyboard layout is going to be English or not.
That's all. I'll remind you.
It's a first world problem.
I'll remind you. I'll be like, hey, Yeti, keyboard. So we are coming into game 2 here of this best out of 3, possibly getting a third game if Against All Authority can thwart Dignitas in this matchup.
We are indeed in the picks and bans, and this time around it's going to be Dignitas with first pick, first ban. We are going to see probably Carthus banned again. You really don't want to give MoMA that Carthus and dominate just leaving the picks and bans. I think that is an approach you could take as well. If you don't want to play the game, you can just say, you know what, I'll just leave.
Yeah, 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0. Done.
2-0, move on.
No, actually, it's 1 both now. Because
that's true.
Dignitas just forfeited. Yeah,
dominate.
Put this in here.
Maybe that wasn't a smile earlier. Yeah. It was a cringe.
Possibly. Quite possibly, yes. Of course, just a little bit of probably a remake happening here. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. Some people are leaving the game. Yep, so I think we're going to have a quick remake for you. We're about to go into game 2 here of the best of 3 of Against All Authority. I guess we should say the full name for once. Versus Team Dignitas, of course, previously known as Team Rock Solid. Still playing Rock Solid. They actually are. And aAa, many people have been saying before this tournament, when the first Chinese team couldn't qualify and alternate was swapped in, they were like, oh man, we'd like to see aAa instead. They are so strong right now, they could take this entire tournament. Then very, very unfortunately, a second Chinese team couldn't make it. It's always a bit of a problem when you come from China to get your visa application all sorted out. And then aAa got swapped in, and they have been showing us all that, you know what, they actually have a real chance to make it all the way here.
You know, they have been showing really well, and online even better. If they can bring that here today, we can actually see that in one of these Dignitas matchups. AAA have had games this week, I should say, as we're coming into the weekend, that have dominated teams, that have made them say, whoa, what happened right there? But against Dignitas, they play a lot of the same champions.
Yes.
So it's very hard in the counter and the picking phase of what they're going to do while selecting champions. And if you're just joining us here in the CBIT Convention Center or on the stream, that's a shame, but we are going to have this match for you. Head over to LeagueOfLegends.com. If you don't know what League of Legends is, it is a free-to-play game. That's what we are viewing here all weekend long here at the Intel Extreme Masters. Some of the top caliber teams from around the world making all the stops at IEM. I believe stop number 5, 6 here now. And we are going to see if these guys can make a name for themselves and put their name on that trophy.
And of course, this is the World Championship, so this is what it's all been leading up to. All these stops that these players have been playing at before, just to qualify and play here in front of the really rather big crowd this early in the day at Hanover. So once again, good morning to you, Hanover. I hope you're all awake and ready for this, because this is going to be an amazing second game. And right after this BO3, which could go to 3 games, conceivably, we are going to have CLG versus M5, which I think is the most hyped up game of the day.
That is going to be an amazing matchup, and it's been said that Against All Authority is the one that has Moscow 5's number. So we'll have to see if CLG has taken any notes from that, any notes from the Against All Authority playbook, if they've seen them playing or not. We've just heard CLG is training on Facebook at the moment before their match, so we'll have to see how that works out for them.
I'm sure there's a Facebook app for training League of Legends.
It's for one for everything.
Yeah, of course. I spoke to AAA that they told me their playbook against M5 as well. I'm not going to give it away because I'm not that mean, but of course it comes down to counter jungle and how you deal with it, and there's a specific time when you need to do one specific thing, they said. Udyr banned first of all by Dignitas. As you can see, we are once again in the picks and bans. 3 bans for each team, champions that they don't want to see, because either an enemy player is very good at them, or because they do something against a plan that they have. So if you have a super bursty suppression combo, you don't want to see a Cillian, for instance. And there's the Irelia ban, and like I said, you don't give MoMA Carthus. He is just so very, very good. We saw that in the first game against SK. His Carthus is spot on. Team communication in AAA at the moment, so very good that anytime there's even the slightest gank around the map, Carthus ultimate is going to join in. Janna is banned out now, by AAA. The most hotly contested support this tournament.
You know, something to mention about last game is that when we spoke to aAa this morning, they came in quite early and were like, you know, how are you guys feeling? What's up? What's going on? And these are the things we don't say the first game because they can still hear us on stage, but they actually wanted Skara to get that Mordekaiser. They kind of pushed him into that position, and it didn't really work out for him, and there it is right there. They say, we don't want to push you into that position again.
And Mordekaiser banned, and also the Shen ban. So Dignitas, as an American team, seem to be valuing Shen quite highly and don't want to see it run against him. I don't know that Soas plays such a great Shen, but I guess it's not that hard at the moment. Shen is very strong. This is the Nautilus patch, but with the Shen hotfixes, so we did deal the buff, dial the buffs back a little bit. Still, people think it's very hard. And the first pick going out, it's going to be Shyvana once again for Dignitas here.
Yeah, and you know, as you said, that Against All Authority was actually not enjoying Hotshot Shen yesterday. They were like, no, we thought he was all right, so we'd leave that top. And then MoMA during the interview was like, he did some damage. He kind of did some damage.
Yes. I think Shen with one of the better win rates this tournament.
Oh yeah, one of the top contested picks, along with the support Jana, and you know, a lot of top picks and kills as well.
Let's see if they're going to take the early Cork again. It doesn't look like it. There is an Alistar Linak. Does jungle a very, very strong Alistar, so that could be what that is. It could of course be on N-rated as well, who really likes those aggressive supports. And let's see what else they pick. They're gonna pick a Graves. That tells me they want to have a very safe, unharassable bot lane. Maybe so that they can free up their jungler to go top lane more often. Maybe run something safe like a Morgana in mid lane. Morgana's not banned. Yes, very good. Run something safe like a Morgana in bot lane. Run a very, very safe Graves bot lane as well. Sorry, Morgana, of course, in mid lane. And then just put constant pressure on top lane. That's the possibility. Taric, it looks like, is going to be the support here. And Cutie Pie is not going to pick Twitch.
No, he's going to grab that for Voyboy.
For Voyboy, yeah.
So this is... thinking that you would see somebody else with Graves down bottom can become quite tanky, obviously, from his true grit. But with Alistar and then against Taric, it kind of defeats the purpose of that lane. They don't really complement each other too much. They have a little bit of movement. The headbutt allows Alistar to move, and then you have quick draw from Graves. He can get himself around and kind of evade or get himself into the fight. So that lane somewhat complements itself, but with Locust there on Taric support, it's kind of going to stop whatever aggression they want to put down. So we'll have to see what is grabbed for I'm a Cutie Pie, as the AD carry has not been grabbed on Dignitas' side yet. We're now over to Against All Authority for their two picks for Yellowstar and Linak.
The question is, of course, what are they going to leave open to last pick? And it looks like it's going to be mid lane. They're probably going to pick top and the jungler, or top and the support, in case that... Yeah, that's the jungler,
so now they can say, Skara, what are you going to play?
Exactly, and now they can actually go and try to counter out Skara. Let's see if that's going to work for them, of course. Katarina is up for grabs. But, you know, so is Rice, so is Cassiopeia. There you go. That is a much more realistic pick. I'm trying to bait Skara into the Katarina pick. And by the way, you really, really can't hear anything on stage. When you are up there on stage, the speakers point away from you, you hear nothing. Even when I'm up there doing my interviews, I don't know when I'm up unless somebody's counting me in, because I can't hear a word. And it's even worse for the players who have the headphones on. So I think we can say everything quite clearly, and we're not going to give anything away to anyone.
So last pick. Soaz to pick here for MoMA. Soaz will be taking that Ken in top, it seems. Linak again with that Mundo in the jungle, played very well for them. Again, taking Exhaust. If you meet a Mundo in the jungle and he has Exhaust and you have your escape, you better be using it.
Ooh.
And the Galio, I was actually going to say Galio pick. Wasn't sure how MoMA feels about that, but that is going to be very nice. You know, you build magic resistance to continuously do your damage, so.
Yep, and that is something you want to build against Ryze anyway, because Ryze is one of those really strong damage over time AP champions. You do want to build magic resist against him, and I think the Galio could be very, very strong here for them, especially because, like you said, they're running in the Exhaust jungler once again, with Galio, who is able to just go into the enemy forest and bully them around there. I'm not quite sure how this is looking for them in team fights, though. MoMA will need to go in and place a perfect ultimate, and everybody just basically Kennen needs to ultimate on top of that.
Very big synergy there.
Yeah, if that works out for them, it could be great. But if they miss those two ultimates, I don't know how good it's going to go for them.
it's going to be difficult. They don't have too much catch-up. I mean, you do have Linak, you do have Soaz. They can somewhat initiate from a stun or the slow from the infected cleaver, but there is just so much shutdown on Dignitas' team. The Room Prison right into Dazzle. Voyboy can displace somebody out of the fight if he wishes, or pop up the whole team if he gets a good kick in, which is usually quite difficult because you will see that Lee Sin trying to position himself into that kick and the team will disperse. So they do have a lot of movement on that side. We'll have to see how, and even if Tara can get in there and get a flash down, it's probably shut down Kennen before he gets his ult in. Usually you'll see that they'll go right for Soaz so he can't even ult.
Yes, and if you just sort of smile on my face, it's because I looked at the crowd and it's filling up. If you want a seat, you probably have to hurry up. It's really filling up here at Rivington, and that's of course what the players want to see, what you want to see as a caster, is having a nice audience. And I'm sure there's a few, there's probably more than, there's probably a few tens of thousands of people on the stream as well. I'm not quite sure where we are yet with the stream numbers, but big thanks to everybody at home watching, to everybody here in Hanover at the CeBIT watching us, and watching those players most of all, because it feels so good when you're up there, when you're pulling off really sick moves and you have people reacting. We are now in the game though, so this could be the decider here. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Dignitas versus Against All Authority. And we are watching Against All Authority setting up there right now the big gargoyle that is Galio, just flapping his wings around there. Graves, of course, one of the more modern AD carries. He has a mechanic that gives him beefiness, armor and magic resist every time he attacks or is attacked.
It looks like they're going for a quite slow beginning of the game here. Actually showing each other mid. They did see Galio and, or rather, I should say you did see MoMA and Soaz middle, just kind of poking about towards Corki. Now as they return back to their jungles, anything could still happen here. Good ward placement down by Against All Authority is going to stop any invasions on that from either entrance to the jungle. It looks like we're going to have one of our first just return to lanes for laning phase beginning of the game.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're looking for another exchange. AAA, of course, had a very, very advantageous exchange last game. It didn't seem to be enough, though. They started 4-0 up, and it just wasn't quite enough. Yellowstar is going to probably take Wolves for himself here. He may need some assist from N-Rated. Yeah, N-Rated is on the way. If your jungler starts in the other half of the jungle, you may as well take Wolves, because they are going to respawn by the time your jungler is here. And that's exactly what we're going to see right now. Wolves are spawning. N-Rated is going to pop them up into the air, and Yellowstar is going to pick them up happily enough. Ooh, taking a bit of damage.
And you can almost see the safety of how they're playing now. That tells the story of their trip to and their road to these games right now. They don't want. They want to just play very cautious. Leaving anything to chance could cause the game to go in either team's favor right off the bat, and that's not what they want. It could snowball out of control instantly if they continue to grab and capitalize on every point. Dragon, map objectives, and warding. If that early Oracles comes out as well, we saw that going on to Linak. And that just helped out Against All Authority. Skara was just too strong middle, though.
What am I seeing here? Locust is roaming. Locust, the support, is now approaching top lane. Not sure if he wants to catch Linak in the forest or if he just wants to go for a crazy, unexpected level 1 gank. The bot lane must have noticed that there is somebody missing there. And here he is, moving right now. So it's actually very, very safe there. I like the roaming Taric. It's something we've not seen in a very long time. He's not going to go for a Dazzle because Soaz is just very safe. Is he going to stay there, though, is the question right now. And no, looks like, not sure what he's going to do. Let's look at another lane until he makes up his mind. 3 members of AAA, though, in the enemy forest right now. They have definitely been taking lessons from M5, and there's the stun on Linak. They're all jumping on top of him. He does not have flash, of course. They knew that his exhaust was never going to be enough to survive that. Soaz came in, but Voyboy happy enough to trade with him.
A very nice job there. Soaz not really able to return any damage, and they did grab Linak in the jungle, also expending his exhaust. So he's got to be very careful. We're not going to see him probably until 6 or 7 minutes now, as he has to go and rebuild that through the jungle. That's really going to help I Will Dominate, as he now has both buffs. He's going to go ahead and just take this jungle, head back out into his own.
Yeah, at the same time in bot lane though, because of the absence of Taric, Graves is at twice the CS of Corki, and we're seeing a little bit of a trade here in top lane. Soaz actually doing a good job. Soaz is really known for his cannon. That's the champion that he wants to play. Cannon is almost Soaz's Nidalee, if you want to compare him to Hotshot. Let's see how much he can do with this cannon though. This is his trademark champion. He couldn't have gotten a better pick, and it's also a great champion to harass down somebody like Lee Sin from a distance. So theoretically it should be great. Locust actually pinking the enemy River Rush, and N-rated doesn't have a pink with him, so there's not much he can do there right now. PewDiePie is going in for a trade against Yellowstar though. He's going to come out all right from this. N-rated, actually with a very good help by Pulverize. Locust puts the Ignite and the Dazzle down on Yellowstar, who has to run out of it. PewDiePie also got ignited. Dominic coming in from around the river, actually just clearing up the wall, and N-rated and Yellowstar are both going to have to fall back.
And you see now how effective Locust is. As soon as he gets into lane, it kind of just forces Against All Authority out. Obviously, Alistar going to put some wards down. N-rated trying to get some more vision on the map. He's going to place it outside the range of that pink ward. Very nice. And that's going to give him a good amount of vision, except for that tri-bush. I don't think that covers that. So they're going to be able to dip down quite quickly. Double top. It looks like Voyboy could be in some trouble here as he tries to get away. Does he have safeguard still? It seems like it is down. All of them are. And it looks like he just got it back in time, dodging that anyways. And he grabbed himself a red buff from that kill earlier.
Yep, that was a good lane gank there, and that's exactly what we thought would happen with a safe bottom lane and a safe mid lane. Like Galio is not going to be ganked, Graves is not going to be ganked. You can just go and put all your pressure on top lane. That's what Linak is doing so far, and that is, it looks like it's working out for him. 26 to 28, so very even CS there still. And a good little trade between Soaz and Voyboy. The play between Cannon and Lee Sin is, of course, make sure Lee Sin doesn't actually get to you. If you can do that, you can trade and poke him from a safe distance. But if he lands one Q, you are in a lot of trouble, because he's going to want to trade for a very, very long time. In bottom lane now, Locust in a little bit of trouble there. Had to use a Dazzle to be safe. Is going to fall back though and be safe enough, Rivington.
Indeed. It looks like Alistar was able to, or N-rated rather, was able to get another ward down in that tri-bush. They're going to be able to play that lane a little bit more aggressive, exactly how N-rated wants to play it while staying in the bush. Very nice ward by Locust is going to give PewDiePie a little bit more safety to farm in that lane towards the top side, and we do have Shyvana coming through. We're going to see the bottom lane start to back off here.
Voyboy in top lane was going in for, looked like an all-out against Soaz. He's actually following up. He gets the kill. Is he going to get away from Mundo, though, is the question. You know what? He doesn't even care about Mundo. He doesn't even run, he just stays there. Mundo, very low health, of course. Lee Sin has an Executioner move, a move that does more damage the more health you're missing. And now Dominic coming in the bot lane. It's going to be headbutted out. It is going to be just safe. And Voyboy once again dominating that top lane so very hard there.
Yeah, doing a very good job. He actually, as you said, jumped right back into Linak without care. Voyboy or Linak trying to give him a little bit of harass down bottom. They do see Shyvana in the bush. They saw her come out of tri-bush. N-rated's going to head over. A little harass there. Oh no, taking quite a bit of damage from Twin Bite. He's going to be forced to headbutt away the Valkyrie in. Gatling on from Corki. And it looks like he may not be able to get in time there. Good damage trade, though, in favor of Dignitas. They're going to be able to zone the lane a little bit on this.
Galio was actually in the enemy forest there. He does land the slow on Scour, but gets a Q back, so it's an even trade there. Not sure what he was setting up to do. He was probably trying to come bot lane as well, and because of that pathing he's actually eating so many Qs. Needs to be a little bit careful there, because that rise, yep, there's the damage over time. Just so much magic DPS that champion puts out. Of course, his damage scales with his max mana, so don't expect too much AP build on a rise. He's just gonna go super tanky and take damage from another stat.
PewDiePie getting so bursty right now. Yellowstar and N-rated were forced to back for a second. N-rated now coming back. Is Yellowstar probably doing that? There he is, going back to get a purchase on. I'm going to check what he has right now. 829. May see another Doran's Blade coming out there. And there's one Doran's, and it looks like he's going to keep it to that as he heads back to lane. One more potion as he gets back up to 3, actually. And Linak trying to creep his way into the bush here. That one minion coming up close, slicing Maelstrom from Kennen coming out. They're going to be able to get the stun down and the exhaust from Linak. He will be able to stick to this, and Voyboy may finally go down. Wait, no, he's going to be able to get through the minions. The pathing from Mundo may not be enough, and Voyboy keeps himself alive by slaloming through the minions.
Is this Lee Sin ever going to be killed? Voyboy playing the match of the tournament for him so far. It's incredible how hard it is for Team AAA to pick up a single kill there in top lane.
Bottom lane aggression here. Valkyrie from and on to Yellow Star from Cutie Pie. It looks like he's being turned around. The Ignite is on, but for some reason they do not follow. Nobody is down there with Cutie Pie, and he makes it out of that one.
That was a very big minion wave actually hitting Graves, so maybe that was one of his concerns there. Let's have a look at mid lane though. 66 to 69, so very even in creep score there. MoMA, I'm not sure how good his Galio is, but he is an exceptional AP player as well. Just like Skara, of course, who is probably the hero along with Voyboy here for Team Dignitas. And so far, Voyboy has definitely had the more cast-worthy game. Rivington, this is the kind of thing that you love as a caster. These close escapes, and he just seems to give us so many of them.
Those moments that Voyboy can make, he just understands the mechanics of his champion so much, what damage he can take. You know, that one was really an either way, but he was able to tuck himself into the minions, dodging any cleavers, getting away from Burning Agony just a little bit, and putting distance between himself and Linak, and that was a perfect play as he was getting away. He didn't even have wards or safeguard to get out. Skara with blue in mid. Looks like he's been able to hit MoMA has been able to hit Skara with a few resolute smites, it seems. And we'll just see them farming it up. Shyvana, I will dominate down bottom. No one really to go after. Will back himself. See if the purchase may be 700 gold there. It looks like he will finish his Madrids.
Linak is coming top lane again. Let's see if they'll finally make something happen. They saw Voyboy go through the triple to the tribe rush there. He's looking for the red. Red is not up. Now he's gonna be caught by Linak there. He's just safeguarding into the wall. Soa's coming in. Let's see if he has his ultimate up. He does have his ultimate up. So he could choose to do it. Waits for the ultimate from Voyboy first. It's now... Oh, there is the safeguard as well. They're still not going in with the ultimate. Now Source is almost in range. I guess they're not doing it. Oh, wow.
Voyboy makes it out again. And it looks like they definitely could have done that. Ulti from Mundo is actually down, so maybe they did not want to chance that. They're not really in the upper hand right now. 13,000 gold in favor of Dignitas to the 11,000 gold accrued by the team of Against All Authority. Right now, good push into the turret here from Dignitas, Cutie Pie, and Locust. There's a ward in that bush for Locust, so we may see Linek maybe coming down to give it a little assistance bottom. We haven't seen it too much. The Dazzle on to N-rated, and he may go down here. He does not have his ulti yet, and that's what they were trying to capitalize on, and they do find N-rated to go down just before he levels up to 6. A little bit more harass onto Yellow Star will allow them a few ticks of damage on the turret. No, they continue to go after it, and they may be able to get this last hit. Locust trying to get in range. The last rocket from I'm a Cutie Pie finds it at max distance.
Oh my god, what perfect play from the bottom lane from Dignitas here. Cutie Pie waiting for the tower arc to switch over to Locust and instantly turns back in on Graves there. And this is going to be free Dragon there unless Linak can do something absolutely magical to stop them. I don't think he can. He may try to go in for a Smite Steal again, but Dominic is there and should be fine. Oh, so much damage onto Linak right now from Skara. That's another kill on top of the Dragon. And this game is going in Dignitas' favor in such a strong way. 5-0 right now the score. And boy, oh boy, Rivington, that is a scary looking Team Dignitas at the moment.
Yeah, they're doing very well. I don't know what Linak was really pulling on that one. He couldn't even get a cleaver in, and you have Rise right there. So if you were going to get anywhere near, he's going to Rune Prison you and shut you down. A great Ignite there, especially with Taric, the Dazzle, just quickly ulting, and they were able to take him. Actually, Taric did not even ult. Locust still has that. So they were able to just output enough damage to take down Mundo, which is quite scary, especially from a Rise and a Taric.
Yeah, the Rise builds damage very slowly over time. If he gets to that point though, he is just going to be so very, very bursty. Voyboy jumping in on Source. It's a really large creep wave. He's not going to go for Source. He's simply going to do some damage to tower. There's pings coming down now. MoMA was trying to think about coming into top lane, but Voyboy actually moved in his direction. Now he's going in for Source, who actually gets the stun off of the Slicing Maelstrom and then doesn't even want to chase. And that's what the dynamic in top lane is right now. He gets a stun on Voyboy under his own tower, and he still doesn't want to chase. Stun onto Yellow Star here in bot lane. They're not going in on it, but they're doing quite a bit of damage to him there. Cutie Pie is playing a great game back on his Corki. 100 CS to Graves is 80. So yeah, looking very good in Dignitas for in all lanes here. Mid lane is a little bit behind, but he does have a kill up over MoMA, so he also has an advantage there.
Oh, very nice. I will dominate. Has some wards up, and you can see bottom pinging. They're like, hey, we know there's a ward in this bush. We kind of need you to come down. Oh, no, he's not going to go to it. They say, let's go up and check these ones. He's going to ward blue and see if that time is up. He's not going to have it just yet, but they are going to have vision there. A very nice job to contest that as it does come up. And I do not think I will dominate will go down bottom to clear that ward. They're going to leave that there. We do see Rise heading top. Skara is about to gather together with Voyboy here at the top turret. It does not have much damage, so they may be able to take that out just after the fight. And Skara will decide to head back. No, he's staying on this one. I don't think he knows what he wants to do.
He was just taking a race as well from MoMA's race camp.
Yep.
Oh, dodging the Q there, so I'm not sure Soas knows that he's there, but he has a very good idea that he's probably there. And the jungler's taking over mid lane there. Yellowstar coming in on Dominant. Let's see if Lina can get the slow down. The exhaust is down. Dominant has to use his ultimate to get out there. At the same time, though, MoMA is caught in the jungle by Rise and Voyboy. And oh, Skara flashing after him. Is he going to have another rune prison? Doesn't even need it. Voyboy picks it up with a resonating...
oh no, Linak and Yellowstar split. It's going to leave Linak all by himself. Can they get enough damage done? Looks like Linak's going to make it out alive. This puts Voyboy and Scar in a very sticky situation here. They're kind of pinching themselves. They do have that left side slicing Maelstrom to stun everybody with inside of it. A lot of damage onto Scar as he falls. N-rated coming in to bump them up, and there's not going to be enough damage time for Dignitas to keep dealing. They did a very good job of stunning and CCing in that fight, and Dignitas was just taken down handily. And that's exactly what Against All Authority needs again to get back into this.
Now, PewDiePie coming from bot lane now. He is going to push this tower. He has his rockets to harass people. He actually takes 3 tower hits there, PewDiePie. Really? I guess he doesn't really care about towers right now. He is at that stage where he can just go in and take tower hits as he likes. Mid tower is safe for the time being, but that forest fight didn't look good for aAa. They were in their own forest. They were outnumbering them, and still they could only pick up the 1 kill there. And Voyboy, of course, he has a blade collection. He has a Hex Drinker, 2 Doran's Blades, and 2 Longswords.
Indeed, he does. Going for that quick Hex Drinker. He kind of just bought that right off the bat there. He had the 2 Blades and the 2 Dorans, and he's like, yeah, this. So he's definitely doing well for himself in lane there, letting red buff tick off, and you're missing that last. Nope, got that last minion. And the wards are down. They're going to head into that blue buff.
Yep.
And not up yet, though.
Not up yet. I spoke to PewDiePie yesterday about his Black Cleaver build on Corki, which we see again. I was like, just walk me through the math here. How is it better? And he's like, it's not. It's actually not very good. If other people hit the enemy he's attacking, I guess then it's mathematically better. And with Voyboy doing a Voyboy and Dominate doing actually a lot of AD damage, yeah, in this setup it works. But you know what? He'll run it in a dual AP setup as well. Now they're going in on Yellowstar, who has been stunned. Uses the quick draw to get out of there. Tower is on Locust, so Locust is in a lot of trouble. Stops for a heal. Is gonna be safe. N-rated had to pop his ultimate there as well, though. So both ultimates from the supports are down.
Oh, wow. I'm a PewDiePie jumping by. He continues to go on. The heal from Alistar keeps him alive, though.
And Linak still milling around top lane. He still has not found a good gank there. I don't think there's been a single successful gank on Voyboy yet. No, he's still at 4-0-0. It's just insane. And the turret falling, of course, in bot lane.
Indeed, first turret of the game to go down here. 17 minutes in, a 7-2 lead in kills by Dignitas. We've seen bigger, and Against All Authority still very much in this game. Top Voyboy jumping onto Soaz, but he gets stunned from the 3rd mark. And it looks like he's only going to take a little bit of damage. However, Voyboy, now with that upper hand to farm in between the turrets, pretty much pushes Soaz completely out of the lane.
Yep, that has been the story of all these Dignitas games so far. And oh, PewDiePie almost gets found there by MoMA. Not quite enough. That's been the story of every game so far with Dignitas in it. At least at this BO3, just Voyboy dominating his top lane. And no team seems to have an answer. So in case Dignitas go through here, and let's not say that they do, because there is still this game is still far from over. But if they go through, they're going to fight against the winner of CLG with M5, and Soas again in trouble. Voyboy just harassing him there, coming in from aAa's forest.
Looks like we may have a contested Baron here. No, Voyboy is going to back in a situation. No, he's not going to back. He sees that there may be a fight. A ward comes over into the bush. Locust places his own, and you can see the wards are right next to each other for each team. They all have vision right now of what's going on. There is also a ward down on Dragon, but that's only for Dignitas. So right past the wards in the bushes, aAa has no vision, and they're going to focus on the Yellow Star here. He gets the Ignite down onto him, and he does go down. It looks like Linak will follow close after if he cannot make it out of there alive. A good hit by aAa, and it looks like they're going to break this down to a 5v3. Going up for the ulti, he gets kicked out of Totem, and Galio is not able to do enough damage. Dignitas cleaning this one up for the ace.
Oh, God.
No, maybe not. Rated makes it out alive with the flash and makes me a liar.
Oh my God, that looked painful, Remington. That really looked painful. I mean, Dignitas did lose 2 people there as well, but they were diving in under the tower, and oh, they're trying to go for N-rated there. Voyboy wants to land that Q, and they also did take Dragon in and amongst all that, to speak with Joe Miller here.
A great job there. Dignitas coming out very strong and able to turn the fight. Yellow Star just a little bit out of position. Didn't think that they had vision of where he was.
Yep.
He got hit by Rune Prison and such an explosion of that damage that Rise can output right in the beginning.
11-4 the kill score right now. 32.2k versus 21.8k. Such a commanding lead. A third of your gold up over the enemy. That is exactly the kind of thing you want to see. Dignitas are looking super strong right now. And who would you say is the MVP for Dignitas, Rivington?
Right now, I'd have to say Voyboy. He's been doing so much to keep his lane in his favor. That top lane is a huge win all the time. And Linak has spent a lot of time up there, but he's been thwarted every time, which actually wastes the amount of time. It's kind of like the diminishing returns, is you waste too much time up there, you're going to get less out of it each time, and you're going to be losing experience, you're going to get behind. So he's made it very tough for both Soaz and Linak to keep themselves in this game.
And Voyboy now saying, you know what, I'm tanky enough, I'm going to go for a Brutalizer and a best friend sword. And that's exactly what he's doing. You can see how he's chewing through these minions so very quickly. Linak does not want to one-on-one him.
No, it looks like he's going to get some assistance here from Locust right on the bottom side anyways.
Yep, Locust is in the forest right now. Soaz is coming around as well. They want to take down Voyboy. Linak showing himself right now. Voyboy is just not impressed. He's not going to die ever.
Looking at the levels once again, Dignitas with 2 level 14s to only Moma's level 13 right now, a level 8 N-rated who's been pushed out of his lane quite a bit. You don't have to worry about the level of the support too much, but as Alistar is one of the tankier ones on the team, you're going to need him to have that HP.
Yes, absolutely. The support Alistar has, of course, the innate tankiness of his ultimate. And he has that very good initiation, but oh, he gets caught here by Rise and an Ignite on him as well. It may have been a little bit too much because that Ignite is wasted. But if N-rated goes home to heal, now he probably doesn't have to. If he did, it would be a pretty safe Dragon. And now all of AAA are coming top to take down Voyboy. He just casually strolls away.
And with all that focus, aAa says, I'm going to do some damage to this bottom turret. He can Valkyrie away from
Voyboy actually jumping in on N-rated and just completely switching him up. He knew he was going to be there, just jumped on him.
I'm glad you were on that because I didn't even have time to click. I heard the Ignite go off and he was gone.
Yep, that's as quickly as it was. And once again, the Q and execution move does damage based on your missing health. And N-rated was low. Yeah, that's just not good. Voyboy is now in full-on assassin mode. Soaz needs to be careful, even with a stun. He's not going to get to Voyboy. Yeah, Voyboy just picking up the golems again and again. If you look at the map, there is no one. No one in Dignitas' half of the map. It's just empty. As Cricket's there. Linak gets dazzled on and is going to die. Does not have flash, of course, with the Smite exhaust. He's running for his jungle. And that's just easy pickings right now for Team Dignitas, who are 13-4 ahead. And Rivington, they are looking so scary. They're a top contender for the Intel Extreme Masters here, I would say. Unless AAA pull out some kind of miracle, or unless Dignitas pull out a Dignitas and give up 2 Barons, I don't see how this game is going to turn around anymore.
Yeah, that is the one thing that is left in this game, and we have seen probably the most Baron steals we've seen in the tournament. Out of this one, over the week, we've seen about 2, 3, 4 Baron steals. Some the lowest health. I think Odd One got one with a sapling and a little bit of smite down towards mid. We have Skara getting ultied on. It looks like everybody's going to use their ulti for this one. They want him to go down, but that life Spellvamp rather, keeping him alive for quite some time. They are finally able to take him down.
At the same time, though, in bot lane, N-Raid and Linak getting jumped on by Cutie-Pie and Locust a little bit here. Linak taken very low. They're going to be backing off behind the turret, and it doesn't look like anyone from Team Dignitas is really interested in the concept of blue pilling. Let's see how much money they're carrying. They're carrying a lot of money. 2,300 there on Voiboy. N-Raid actually going in for a headbutt on Locust. There's the Ignite on Locust as well. And that could be finally another kill pickup. Actually, Yellow Star dying in all that. And Locust is fine because there is Dominate. The exhaust on PewDiePie, counter exhaust on Linak. I don't think they have the damage to take him right now. If he manages to get another Valkyrie, he is going to be safe. Actually, great cleaver, and there is the Valkyrie. And the flash, the smite picks up Locust though. And they will try to chase down PewDiePie.
They are going to chase Valkyrie. Oh, he dodges that, but he does get the auto attack on. Very nice job from MoMA. Valkyrie was up in 6 seconds. Not much he could do to get away. So as trying to farm that turret, Minions doing so much damage to that top turret. Now down to about a third of its health. It looks like so many towers have been pushed. Just the inhibitor turrets stand for team against all authority. They need to have something up. Oh no, actually the second inner defense for middle is still up. It was just hidden by Kennen.
Are you calling Kennen fat? Is that what you're saying?
His coin, yeah.
His coin is fat. Okay, that's fine then. 2 Infinity Edges and
man,
Dominic getting caught there. Dignitas need to be careful not to get careless. Wow, that was not a very smart thing to say. You know what I mean though, Rivington? They can throw this game. They have shown extreme capability for throwing games. Linak getting caught then. Is there going to be another Rune Prison? Probably not going to get in range. Linak had to pop his ultimate and is going to be safe enough. Voiboy trying to pick up the enemy red. He has an Infinity Edge on Lee Sin. Not a build you see very often. You know what? If it works for him, why not? He can switch people off.
There's about an average CS of 150 on Against All Authority. 2 members of Dignitas now over 220 CS, so you can see the gold absolutely 42,800.
Locust popping in Shirelia there to get away from MoMA and Source. That was probably a good decision, and just warding up the entire enemy jungle, because at this point aAa cannot afford to buy an Oracles. Dragon picked up here by Shyvana. Even more of an advantage for Dignitas. The Scarab picking up the enemy blue as well. Let's see how much mana is he up to.
Oh, they're trying to take down Locust here. They will find him, and they will take him down towards the top side of Against All Authorities jungle. There's a much needed kill for MoMA. He is now 4-2-2 in this one. Getting that needlessly large rod is going to help that Resolute Smite do some huge damage and initiate the slow for a fight. MoMA is somebody that can get in there and help his team. Not many AP carries are the ones to initiate, but he is more than happy to do so.
Especially with his ultimate, as he takes only half damage during his ultimate.
Yep.
On top of that, can have his shield, his bulwark on him. So yeah, he is definitely an AP carry that wants to build a little tanky, and he's doing that with the Banshees and the Chalice. But still, it's not coming together for Team AAA at the moment. Dignitas need to be careful though. They need to stay together as a team right now, push together, take inhibs together, and they cannot do silly things like get a caught or give up Barons, because this is... Let's put it this way, Rivington. For AAA, this is not a winnable game, but for Dignitas, this is definitely a losable game.
You could put it that way. We do see a turret being destroyed. I'm a cutie. The first inhibitor turret goes down. MoMA turning on this one. The Idol of Durand. Will he be able to do enough damage? And Corky gets wiped out. I'm a PewDiePie goes down, but he will get a little bit of gold from taking down MoMA just before that happened. And I'd really like to point something out here that Dignitas is doing. They have lost matches over the week from going for Baron. Not even warded. Look how many wards are actually in Against All Authorities jungle. No focus on Baron. They're like, we're winning. We don't even want to chance that right now. Voiboy getting pushed out of the fight. He will not be able to help. Soaz taking too much damage to really get in there with his ultimate. Locust could fall on this one, but there is just not enough focus on one person from Dignitas. Finally, Scara will go down, and it will be I will dominate, forced out to save his oracles. So Dignitas kind of not really formulating that one as they planned.
It was just Voiboy attacking by himself, getting very low, and that's the silly things that Dignitas does that sometimes turn the game. Actually, yesterday I was in the Players Lounge watching the second game of SK versus AAA, where AAA really drew the game really hard against SK by giving up all these Baron fights, and Scara was standing next to me. He was like, we can outthrow that.
Oh, wait, here's the pings now. On to Baron. Dignitas may have changed their mind after that. This is going to be scary for them.
Are they going to outthrow AAA after all? It's a two-man Baron, something out of CLG's playbook, and aAa may not actually know that this is happening at the moment. They can clearly do it. That's not the question. The question is, are aAa going to pick up on this in time? And is Linak going to do a magical smite steal? He is not, because he doesn't have flash, and he's not even in the right neighborhood. So at least a safe Baron for Dignitas here, who have not been traumatized by the tournament and are still looking for those Barons, Rivington.
This is going to be very big for them. This turns into turtle mode here for Against All Authority. The next fight has to happen under their turret. Things that are really against them right now is that bottom, and you can see all the pings going off. That's free entry into the base. They're going to be able to just drop down on that inhibitor, and with the minion waves pushing top and also pushing mid, they're going to go right around the horn there and just try to take down the next inhibitor turret.
Yeah, and it should be easy enough for them. They all have the Baron buff. Baron buff, of course, gives you AP and AD, but that's not so much the big deal. The big deal here is the regen that it gives you, which just means they can completely outpoke the enemy and just set up. And Voibo actually using the good old ward safeguard move to go into the base. He does not respect walls whatsoever. And Inhib is already down. Look at how quick that was.
Yes, the minion wave in mid kind of pushed up here, and you can see, as I said, right around the horn. They're just going to go to the left here, try and dodge a little bit of the damage that they're taking from the poke, but they're going to poke right back. Linak taking huge damage down to 50% health. Looks like he's going to actually back from his base. Going to go ahead and get a little bit more HP. They're heading straight to top here. Maybe they have enough damage. Yes, they do. They're going to quickly take down this turret. Corki may even just... Oh, no, he does not have enough attack speed yet to take it down before Against All Authority gets there.
That was silly again of Cutie Pie. I mean, if he'd stayed there for another half second or so, he could have been caught and he could have been killed with Baron buff. They don't want that. They need to be more cohesive than this right now. But good pokes once again on Linak. Ryze doing so much damage there with the 3,600 mana. Every Q landing for 200, 300, 400 and something. That's as good as my math gets, 400 and something. And he can land them pretty much every second or so. So it's very, very scary damage over time from that Ryze.
And they're just knocking at the front door here of Against All Authority. They do not want to give them any movement outside of their base. Even if they did, the wards of Dignitas right now just give them full vision of Against All Authority's jungle. Wards play a huge role in League of Legends. They allow you vision in places you usually wouldn't have it, and that gives you the upper hand in the fight to pick off maybe that one person or start to spread the opposing team out, and that's really where you can take advantage in a fight. It looks like we have Voiboy backing top. There's a little bit of a wave, but it looks like that wave will actually push towards the turret, and as they continue to clear the resources of Against All Authority's jungle, they are forced to farm what is only coming in.
There is a very big wave coming in bot lane now with two super minions. It looks like Graves is already in position to farm this. What's funny?
Yellowstar happy to take that right now.
Yes, he is
farm of
happy.
The score, we do have 171 to Corki's 276 farm. Almost, that's over 100 farm right there difference. And you can see why that Quicksilver Sash, Infinity Edge, Black Cleaver, and now Zeal going for Phantom Dancer on Corki is making him so dangerous.
Dignitas are invading the forest again. Corki is lagging behind a little bit as he wants to pick up his own red buff first, so they should be wise and wait for him, because if they commit for a fight right now and aAa understand that Corki isn't there yet, this could go badly for Dignitas, but otherwise, as long as they just play this safely, really no risk whatsoever of losing the game.
And it looks like this could be one of the last fights. If Against All Authority cannot have this happen in their favor, they're going to get these wards almost cleared out there. No, they have a vision ward in their own base to clear that out. No more oracles being purchased by them. They're a little struck for money here. 55,000 to 37,000 in gold. Quite a difference there, and you can see why Dignitas just has the time to stay in these fights a lot longer and continuously take the cooldowns of Against All Authority. This minion wave coming top will mean this turret's going down. They will have to guard this inhibitor.
I don't think they can. The tower is so very, very low. It's down already. They're in it. Envoy has to flash out. Now Linak is super low. Locust actually falling down there in that fight. Didn't think they had it to pick something up, but Linak already down. So is Soaz. Moma and N-rated are very, very low. Ooh's not going to be enough quite for the pickup on Moma. But N-rated falling down to within 1 Q of where he would have died. So it was a 2-for-2 exchange, but it also took an inhibitor. And they are not going to go for mid inhibitor yet. I think they're just clearing out the wave here. Yellowstar, Moma, and N-rated are coming back in on this, so Dignitas need to be careful not to get engaged on with a numerical disadvantage. aAa can keep this inhib up, but it's 2 inhibs down right now and a gold difference of, wow, that is 18k gold difference in favor of Dignitas.
Yeah, this is getting pretty scary for against all authority. There is always that one fight that allows you to push, but I don't think they'll be able to have the damage and the time to do what they need. 33 minutes into the game, Dignitas still has all of their turrets.
Oh yeah, dominate soloing Dragon, not a big problem for the Dragon Lady there at this point in the game. And yeah, Dignitas hasn't dropped a single of their turrets. And that just shows you how dominant they were in the laning phase in all lanes really. I mean, we've been concentrating a lot on Voiboy's crazy play top lane. He has a Quicksilver Sash now as well, and a Yuumu's Ghost play. Not something you see very often anymore these days, but you know, it does make a lot of sense on Lee Sin. And this Lee Sin, normally you see Lee Sin as sort of, yeah, he builds Bruiser, he's top lane, so he's gonna be tanky. But this guy...
What did he ever end up doing with those 2 longswords? To throw a Brutalizer into the Youmu's, yeah.
Yeah, that is exactly what he ended up doing.
I was gonna say, I was like, last time he went to the Wriggles and like Brutalizer early on this one, but yeah, it's just really helping him out. They were able to grab that Baron with 2 people. Doing a great job so far.
Yeah. Any fight that AAA wants to go in right now needs to happen under turret, and they only have the 1 inhib turret left. They do have an inhib there in bot lane. I'm not sure that they really want to defend this, because 1 good initiation for Team Dignitas, and that's game. And AAA are now looking at the elimination out of this tournament, at least out of a chance of first place. They would still play in the match for 3rd place later on today. But of course, that's not what you want. You want to be in the grand finals, or at least you want to give us a 3-game best of 3. That's something that I would want very much. And Dignitas not quite committing there. They could go in, but they don't find a good opening for a good engage right now. They may want to hope to poke this inhib down. That is definitely something they can do with their minions. Voiboy now actually jumping in. Linak is in the front, though, is chasing down on PewDiePie. He's not going to quite get him. Locust getting very, very low, but Soas is getting dove on by Voiboy. Soas is going to fall there to Skara. Locust helps PewDiePie pick up Linak there as well. MoMA now running away is not going to happen. Yellowstar at half health. Inhib is down. Super minions are in the base, and Rivington, it's curtains for AAA.
Yes, it is. That left turret already taking a lot of damage. Team Dignitas coming out here in the semifinals with 2 straight wins over Against All Authority, dominating games. Very well played here. Voiboy playing an extreme top, really actually shutting down the jungler from denying him those ganks.
Yeah.
And really Linak was wasting time top. Voiboy did a great job at that. Skara was always grabbing with Rune Prism, always putting out a little bit of damage, but then he would back off and he would taunt that attack again. They got a lot of kills off of Dragon for that, and they caught Yellowstar out of position 1 time with a Dragon, and N-Rated was the only one to make it out of that fight, and that kept happening over and over again. And still, at the end of the game, Dignitas held all of their turrets.
Yeah, incredible second performance there from Dignitas, who are slowly finding through their games. There were a couple of possible mistakes showing there where they didn't quite have the finishing phase down perfectly, but it's getting better and better every single time we see them play here. So certainly whoever they're going to go against in the finals, they will know how to bring the game to an end. It doesn't matter if it's CLG or M5. I think at this point they are prepared for either one of them. M5, of course, were they even in the same group phase? I don't think they were. No, they were not. No. But M5 did defeat them at Kiev, I can say that much. But that was very, very much a different Dignitas to what we're seeing right now on the main stage. So don't go anywhere, guys. We still have an interview for you very, very soon. And after the interview, we are going to have CLG versus M5 practically right away. And that is the big hyped game. I'm not quite sure if the interview is ready for us yet.
Indeed, yeah. Yes, let's throw it to D-Man on the main stage with Dignitas and Against All Authority.
Yes, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm joined by Voiboy and MoMA. MoMA, I'll go to you to start with. Obviously, it's never great to lose a semi-final. You're going to go through to the 3rd, 4th place playoff later on today. Just where do you feel it went wrong? Certainly the first game, you started off so brightly. You were 4-0 up, bottom lane. It was 2-0 Yellowstar. I thought, oh wow, this is going to be a domination. But PewDiePie just managed to hold them at that bottom lane.
Well, we had a very good early game, but I don't know, I think Dignitas has the better team play at the moment. Just everybody sees that they are playing better than we do. So we had the early game, but they have the team play, and they came back with the double kill on bot lane with Mordekaiser. They stood too long on the lane. I was calling that Mordekaiser will go bottom, but they stayed there and they get a double kill the dragon, and then they turned the game totally. It was like this.
Yeah, and Voyboy, obviously that first game, you know, how was it for you guys when you went 4-0 down early on? You lost 2, I think, in the level 1 fight. Probably, I think, the first level 1 fight we've actually seen in the tournament so far. It's been very passive at the start, but did you just have to regroup yourself? It's just like, guys, concentrate on the lanes.
Yeah, so I was hiding in the top tri-bush, and I saw their whole team walk in there, and that gave our team a false sense of security to invade their wraiths in red, and then we didn't manage to ward that bush, so we were just sitting there, we're like, oh, okay, we're going to take the raise, and then they came in and just got 2 kills, which was like a horrendous start, but we were able to get back in the game and just stay focused and make a comeback, so...
Yeah, and I was actually sat with Alex during the first game, and obviously he was talking about the midweek match, and he said, oh yeah, I played Mordekaiser in the week, and they stomped me. Was that the same sort of plan? You were like quite happy to let Skara have Mordekaiser?
Well, when Mordekaiser is laning in mid lane, you just need to gank him in the early phase. Like, it was so easy to kill him all the time. We burned his flash and he was pushing and we just killed him. But I don't know, somehow Skara always managed to get back to the game with Mordekaiser, even when he fails his early game. Like, he doesn't care about the early game, he just turns the fight with his rubber down on Mordekaiser, and it's just so hard when you have your carry down and Mordekaiser gets him with the ultimate. It's just crazy.
And moving on to the second match, you obviously banned out Mordekaiser that time. You thought, okay, we can't let Skara have it this time. But when I saw the picks out, I immediately said to Odie, the Dignitas manager, said, I think you guys won this. I can't see where the damage is coming from. You had great control, but other than manage to land the perfect ultis, I couldn't see where the damage was going to come from. What was the thought behind that?
I think we have enough damage with the setup. Cannon is doing a lot of damage, Galio does a lot of damage, and also Graves. Just in general, they outplayed us totally. Like, we have to admit that they played better and they are the better team and they deserve to go to the final. Like, they have high chances to win the final, and I wish them good luck for this.
Yeah, indeed. It knocks the confidence. So, Voyboy, the second game, they couldn't kill you. They couldn't catch you. You managed to get away, I think 2 or 3 times with little to no health. What was going through your mind when that was all happening?
So after we got the first kill on Mundo, we knew that he'd be behind and I would be ahead. So basically, the strategy revolved around me being hyper-aggressive top and drawing the rest of their team to help so as try to catch up. And I knew that I'd probably be able to get away from any kind of gank that they threw at us, and that alleviated pressure from the rest of our lanes, and that allowed like QD to go crazy and Scar to farm up against Galio. So Mundo just kept coming top, and it was just like a waste of time for him, so it was great for us.
Yeah, and I felt you did your best go at throwing the game. I mean, you certainly hung it around long enough. You had such a huge advantage, but you just kept split lane pushing. Was it a case of someone just went, right, okay, guys, let's actually group up? You stayed away from Baron for a long time. Was there a bit of fanatic going through your mind? It's like, we're not going to let this go again.
Yeah, that was definitely a bit of the kind of worry. Like, we kind of went in, we just made a group pact that to not go for Baron when we're ahead, unless it's like completely clear. Like when we decided to go for it, we had like such good word coverage, and that was just me and Shyvana were able to almost solo it. And then after that, we had Baron buff, so we're like, all right, this is our time to make our plays. Let's stop the split pushing. Let's go for bot inhib. Let's go for mid, and yeah, that was able to give us an advantage that we took.
Okay, so you're into the finals. Who would you prefer, Moscow 5 or CLG? CLG, obviously, I'm going to guess with. You've beat them a few times already.
Well, it depends how they play today, but probably CLG. I mean, they're both great teams, so we'll see.
Okay, well, congratulations for joining the finals. Anything you'd like to say to your fans, obviously, after a great victory?
Keep supporting us. Hopefully, we'll show you guys a great finals, so thanks for watching.
And Moment, the same to you. Obviously, we're going to see you later on today. Myself and Joe will be covering the 3rd, 4th place batch. Anything you'd like to say to your fans? Obviously, you're going to be disappointed with not making it to the final, but there's still 3rd place up for grabs.
Thanks for supporting us, and sorry that we couldn't make it to the final, but we will try to improve our gameplay against the US teams to do a better show for Europe at Las Vegas at the IPL, and we'll keep working, and sorry that we couldn't make it.
Okay, well, obviously, we're going to have a short break. It was a very quick match there, so we'll be back shortly. It will be CLG versus Moscow 5. You guys know it's going to be an awesome game. I myself will be covering that with Freak. We'll be back in around about 10-20 minutes' time.
Intel